About now. All right, there we go. What is up, everybody? It's been a minute since we've done some casts, especially some CPL casts. There's a lot kind of going on with SKU and CPL, and there's so many games that are going on that they just all haven't been getting the attention that they really deserve. So today is a step towards chipping away at the giant iceberg that is casting requests within the CPL channel. And so these are the 5 that I'm kind of going through today. Hey, what's up, Arya? Good to have you. Good to have you. Also, okay, so we're going to kick it off with HM Meyer versus Who Knows. This is going to be a TVT. Now, this one is special because I straight up just had to cut a cast early one day, and they were already on the list. And so I promised them that they would be the very next game that we're going to cast. So we're going to kick it off with a TVT. It's Tier 3. I don't remember the teams of everybody, but I'm going to try to remember to tell you guys at least the tier and the week that they were played. So H. Meyer versus Who Knows was Week 7, Tier 3. Then we're going to go into Kanzaki versus Escalade. This is going to be a TVP, and this was Week 9, Tier 2. Scimo versus Dada, which is Week 6, Tier 3. Borisu versus Nitekat, another TVT. So buckle up. Hope you all hydrated and that you did your effective fingering. And thanks to Escalade, we have a new command actually on the channel: !fingering. So you got that to look forward to. And then we've got Pickrul versus Wish You Were Here, which is a Week 5 Tier 1 match. So if we get that far, we'll get to see some Tier 1 play. Now, I will say I don't know the length of all of these. And so I'm going to try to get to at least Borisu and Nitekat. And depending on the time that we have remaining, we'll go through Pickrul and Wish You Were Here. But awesome. So let's go ahead and get into it. I don't want to waste too much time. What I do want to do is the CPL anthem. Everyone stand up, show your respects to the CPL organization, everything that we love and hold dear in Foreign Brood War, and listen to the anthem. Here we go. Got to get those fingers nice and warmed up. Hand health is no joke, gamers. No joke.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and flaw. Gamers play, this never ends.
Toss off my Lego glasses, and let's get into the first game. We're going to go into H. Meyer versus Who Knows. Game 1. It is going to be on Knockout TVT. Like I said, I warned you. Hydrate. It's important. Almost as important as hand health. Now, the scoreboard's going to be all sorts of jacked up, right? So let me see if I can at least get that up and running. Let me fix desktop volume so no one yells at me. Let me also put on music, because I'm not gaming myself, right? We're not getting some Manshark tunes going on here. It is top versus bottom, which is good. And you know what? I'm just gonna hide the well, no, I won't hide it. Let's try to get it fixed. So we've got Terran versus Terran. Got H. Meyer versus Who Knows, also known as Helter Skelter, I think is what he's got in there. We're just going to put CPL 12. We're not going to worry about all this other stuff. All right, badass. Badass, man. Helter Skelter, like Starcraft Elter. Excellent. Well, on this 4-player map of Knockout, we got H. Meyer up here in the top right, and he better be here. H. Meyer, are you in chat? Because you wanted this casted badly, and so did Who Knows. Many pings because I've missed this game. Helter Skelter, our blue Terran in the bottom right. Am I clipping? Yeah, my headphones were having issues. Hang on a second. I see the little bar. Is it sounding okay? Okay, we're back. I'll try not to, like, talk super loud or anything. I'll just whisper, and it'll be great. I sound like a clown? Well then, perfect. It's coming through exactly the way it's supposed to. Okay. Alright, anyway, there's still a game going on. Let's get back into it. That was pretty distracting, though. Not gonna lie. I may wake up people in other time zones. That's how awesome your game's gonna be. Love it. Okay, well, anyway, with TVT, both players do have barracks going up. We do have a factory going up for H-Meyer, and I want to point out, right, like, this is kind of the big indicator that you look for early on for Terran that is doing a factory build. Whether or not they're coming off the gas, and H-Meyer looks like he is not coming off the gas. So what I'm curious about, when I do this, generally it's not a 2-factory build. Well, it is, but then I go straight into Stargate, right? It'll be like a barracks, factory, second factory, Stargate, get a tank and vulture rush, and then send some wraiths across the map. I wonder if that's going to be something that we see from H-Meyer. Now down here for Helter Skelter, it looks like he has gotten his factory up and running. Probably going to see a vulture pop out here. Oh, going straight into Machine Shop. Now he did get the scout as well, so something to keep in mind, but he's going into an expansion. So we're going to have to see how he is able to defend against whatever it is that H-Meyer is cooking up that is going to likely be a little bit more on the aggressive side of things. And this is interesting as well because Helter Skelter is walling off his natural. I don't see this all the time with TVT, but it is nice to do when you're expecting kind of that vulture war and you're trying to get into your own tech. Right? So like I'll kind of wall off usually with like a bunker and a supply depot when instead of going vulture war, I'm trying to do something like this, right? The factory and starport. So we did call it, I did expect 2 factories, but it looks like he's going straight into a 1-1-1 and getting a tank out right off the bat. So this is going to be interesting and I'm really curious to see how Helter Skelter reacts. Yeah, Arya, it looks like, you know, just 1 Marine here from Helter Skelter. It's not uncommon for these Terrans to be making 2 Marines, at least, because that can defend, you know, a vulture trying to run up a ramp or something. Alright, so we're having an early push here. Single tank push. We're bringing 4 SCVs along. We got 5 Marines. I wonder if H-Meyer is going to be able to finish it right now. Now, when it comes to upgrades, Helter Skelter almost has Siege online, and we know that he already has a tank right here. So if he can get Siege online first, he's going to be looking pretty good. But don't forget, H-Meyer also has that Wraith coming up on board. And instead of getting an engineering bay, we did see that academy being built by Helter Skelter. Oh, and the Wraith is already down here. I missed that. Okay, right now this is looking really good for H-Meyer. He might just run straight through here, getting that tank up on the high ground. No more Marines up here in the main to defend against this Wraith. If that Marine can get up here and target fire this Wraith, it can knock it down pretty quick. But it does. Oh, shift fire to the Wraith! Shift fire to the Wraith! Oh no! The Marine just trying to get some work done on these SCVs. And H-Meyer's got a commanding position. He's got 2 Wraiths, 2 tanks, several Marines here in the natural. We're getting a second factory up for Helter Skelter, and Helter Skelter, who knows, is having to bring that CC all the way back up from the natural. This looks absolutely dominating from H-Meyer. But I will say, this is one of those game patterns that is so frustrating in TVT. Now, it's really exciting to be on H-Meyer's side of this, but it's a little bit more frustrating when you're trying to do like the standard, you know, tank opening or vulture opening, and your Terran opponent is just like, hey yo, I'm gonna start flying at you. Yeah, this looks rough. Good build order choice here from H-Meyer. That was weird, like all the SCVs stopped there for a second. This tank's gonna live forever, but we're not gonna get much mining like this. We do have the armory though, and what I'd like to see H-Meyer pop out is like 1 Goliath. 1 Goliath and then like maybe more tanks. But now Hmeyer is moving his tanks up here to the high ground. And oh no! Elder Skelter's only remaining tank about to be picked off by these Wraiths down here in the corner. And it's... Pop goes the Weasel. That's what Mom always said. Elder Skelter actually still trying to fight. I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't think so. He does have 2 CCs. He's got that going for him. But he's looking kind of dead. Yeah, that's a lot of tanks. See the drill there, though? Keeping them separated, isolating these tanks up here, up top. Now, we do have some Goliaths, and that's going to mitigate a lot of the issues here with the Wraiths. And that might have been what Helter Skelter was waiting for, thinking, hey, if I can get a lucky break on these Wraiths, maybe I'm still in this game. But don't forget, like, there's still a lot of tanks. And you know what's really not that great against tanks? Goliaths. So let's bring the boys! Here they come. They're going to soak up some shots and get the Goliaths in range. And look at that. Like, these SCVs are soaking up the shots. He's going to lose 1 tank. Soon to be a 2nd tank. Helter Skelter making this happen. But I mean, like, not really. He's got 9 SCVs left. Hmeyer can probably just move through this. Boom. There goes the eBay. There's still barracks up here for Hmeyer. Yeah, I think Hmeyer's done it. He sealed the deal. I do like that Helter Skelter, you know, I mean, he's representing a team, right? He can't just throw a GG in there. No. You ain't hear no whistle. That lady didn't sing. He's here to play. I love that. I would never do that, though. I see a carrier pop up on my screen and I just insta GG. I'm like, alright, well, GG, go next. This reminds me, I think it was legitimately yesterday's Artosis cast. He was watching fantasy games. Right now, Artosis is going through like these fantasy deep dives, and all the games have been kind of lame, actually, that he's picked for those. But he was mentioning that fantasy never quits, like ever. Like, he'll take a game, and if he's dead on paper at like 6 minutes, he'll still drag it on to like 10, being completely dead the whole time. So we may be getting a little bit of that going on here. But, you know, he has increased his SCV count. He was at 9, now he's at 14. He lost the factory, and there's the GG. Okay, we got there. GG's, both players. I know I was talking a lot of shit in Helter Skelter with the GG timing and stuff, but, like, great job. Like, when it comes to TVT, that's pretty much a hard counter when it comes to build orders. Unless you get in there super fast or you scout it at just the right time, it's going to be very, very hard to defend. And so we just saw that. So let's go into game number 2. And game number 2 for these two is going to be on Radeon. Very exciting stuff, everybody. Another 4-player map, more space tile set. That's why we're all here. That's not the button I want. Hopefully the sound is doing okay. Like I said, my headset has been having some weird issues, and I guess I was cutting in and out. No good. Okay, cool. Yeah, didn't know I play Protoss. I play against Protoss all the time. Like 90% of the ladder. Great times. Yo, Nitekat! Nitekat, you weren't following? Well, thanks for the follow, buddy. Thanks for the follow. Good to see you. Yeah, apparently you weren't following. I thought we were bros. I guess not. Okay, so up here in the top right is going to be Hmeyer. This is actually the same spawn locations that we had last time. And we've got Helter Skelter down here in the bottom right. Now, I wonder if... Now, if I'm H-Meyer, I don't know if I'm going to do that same build again. It is powerful, but if you get rushed by your opponent, like, that is kind of the weakness, right? Is it takes a little while. You don't have a ton of units early on to really fight off a bunch of vultures, right? Like, if he had sent vultures, if it was a standard, like, 2 or 3 factory vulture kind of rush or whatever the case may be, then he would have been able to pick off a lot of those Marines that were protecting his tanks. And then I think his tank would have gone down, and then he would have been stuck with just Wraith, and then all it takes is a turret or a Goliath, and you're safe and good to go. So it is a little bit of a glass cannon. So we'll see if H-Meyer goes for it again. Now down here, we do see the wall coming up again. So Helter Skelter definitely feels more comfortable with that wall in place at the natural. This is kind of indicating that he might be going for an expansion as well. But it could also just be because on the first game, he set up that wall, didn't expand. Or I'm sorry, he did expand. He can now set this up and not expand, right? He's shown that he can telegraph that, so this could be a little bit of a mind game. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called speculation in the first 2 minutes of a game. You just got to make shit up. Supply depot going down in the natural as well for H-Meyer. Yeah, this one wasn't a request as much as catching up on a group I had to cut short a couple weeks ago. I'm glad everyone's here. Got a good amount of followers today, or viewers today. Don't forget to follow, and if you happen to have a Prime sub available, I would really appreciate it. We use all the money, 100% of the money. I keep none of it. It all goes into the Starcraft Underground tournaments. We're funded for 2 of them. We're trying to get funded for the 3rd one. So good times. Helter Skelter getting a scout up here into the main. Now this is going to be key. He wants to look up here for the gas. And what we're seeing from H-Meyer is that he's not likely to be doing a what you call it, a 2-fact opening. Okay, so Helter Skelter did get up there, did see that as an indicator, and is getting his own expansion up. So right now, a little bit somewhat mirrored builds. But one of the things I also want to point out is Helter Skelter is going straight into Machine Shop. So we saw this last game as well. I don't think Helter Skelter ever built a Vulture. He went straight into tanks. Meanwhile, we're getting Vultures out here for H-Meyer. So I guess this does make sense. If he wants to wall off his natural, going straight into tanks does make a lot of sense. It's a decent counter against that kind of early Vulture war style. Vultures can't get through here very well. The tanks will defend very, very well. But once tanks start getting out onto the board, this wall just kind of falls apart to anything sieged up against it. So 2 Vultures on the map, then into Machine Shop. And we can see that, so this is because H-Meyer isn't completely convinced of what Helter Skelter's doing. He knows that the expansion was going up, and he knows that likely he was going to start making Vultures, which he isn't. But because the Machine Shop went down after 2, this would give H-Meyer a little bit of a Vulture lead if, for instance, Helter Skelter had done just 1 Vulture and then the Machine Shop, or in this case, just went Machine Shop. So anyway, it looks like we're going to be seeing 3 Factory Vulture here from H-Meyer. Apparently I'm getting Xbox notifications. That's cool. Gosh. Current PCs are so annoying with notifications. It's like, hey, I'm Copilot. Copilot's like the new Clippy, but not cool. You know what I mean? Clippy used to be like, hey, want to learn how to use punctuation marks in Word documents? You'd be like, go away, Clippy. And you'd be like, all right. The Copilot's just like, hey, I'm going to include myself in everything. Yeah, exactly. Go away, creepy. All right, getting +1 weapons, going up into a 2nd factory now. And so this kind of build is pretty powerful against the early Vulture rush. If you get that siege, where you start sprinkling in some vultures and Goliaths with this second factory. Because there is a world here, right? Like, he knows he's going to have to accept that there's going to be mines everywhere. So he's going to have to get his scanners up, which he's doing right now. Oof. Marine die. Bye-bye, Marine. And he needs to be careful about these tanks. You don't want to go too far forward. You're not really going to get anything by doing that. And you don't want to provide an opportunity for the vultures to get on top of your tanks, plant mines. Ooh. 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 But he lost all of his vultures. Anyway, he lost that tank. So, right now, I think Helter Skelter's looking pretty good. He's lost one tank, whereas H-Meyer had to lose all of his vultures that he had thrown out there. He does have some mines out here, but Helter Skelter's not going to move out until he has that critical mass where the Goliaths, the tanks, maybe some vultures coming up soon, can pretty much just move through that. Okay. Where are we at? H-Meyer, 52 supply, 32 of which are SCVs. We got the +1 weapons coming up for Helter Skelter. The only upgrade really coming up right now for H-Meyer is Vulture Speed, but he does have 4 factories. So the production advantage is going to be squarely in H-Meyer's domain. Ooh, and needs to be really careful about these Goliaths. Another problem, we were talking about like this build versus kind of the Vulture type style, is you do have less units, right? Like you've got the higher tank count. You've got some higher quality units in the form of Goliaths, but you do have less. So you need to be very efficient. You need to be very careful about having things get picked off, like that tank in the beginning. You can see that he's being very careful about keeping his Goliaths repaired. Ooh, almost getting a tank drag there, but not quite. Unfortunately, going to be giving up all 3 of these Goliaths. Ooh, just got out of range of that tank. Baller. I feel gross saying baller. That wasn't natural. I was being fake right there. That's not something I say. All right, here we go. More mines. Oh, this is going to be painful. Okay, does finally break that 1 siege tank, but it's about the time where H-Meyer probably has more. And there he is. Fury the sequel coming down here. And a lot of vultures. I think H-Meyer is definitely ahead right now. We do still have additional quality units here for Helter Skelter, and Helter Skelter is increasing his factory count to match the production of H-Meyer. But I'm liking how H-Meyer is getting this contain off, and what I'd like to see is H-Meyer potentially expand behind this. And I'm not seeing that yet, but he does have 3 machine shops, which is important. He's going to be catching up on that tank count very, very quickly. So likely not going to be seeing a 3rd expansion from H-Meyer because he can't afford it if he's going to maintain all that tank production, all the vulture production off of these factories. But crazy enough, Helter Skelter is looking to take a 3rd. So even more important that he doesn't just give away units, and he's doing a great job pushing out right now. Ends up clearing all of this. A couple really scary mines right there did just get wiped out by these Goliaths. And now I feel like he needs to consolidate, bring these guys back here, and get ready to take that 3rd base. Maybe even clear this, because you know there's going to be a mine there. There always is. That was a really good move. That's one of those situations where if you play it incorrectly, like, you just lose on the spot. Oh no. This could be another one of those situations, actually. You gotta... Oh no! He just lost everything! Helter Skelter. We're sitting here, we're like, who knows? Is kicking ass. He did great. He didn't throw away his army. And then he's like, hold my beer. Watch this. Threw away his army. It's alright. We've all been there. It's what makes TVT very, very challenging and very, very exciting. Is every single inch you move forward is an emotional event. Alright, hopefully not rallied up here. This contain is getting pretty serious from H-Meyer. H-Meyer's tank count is what is really going to tilt the scales here. And this is what we were talking about with these 3 machine shops, right? I told you, we're not going to see that 3rd expansion. No, 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 no. He's going to keep production on these 3 machine shops, and he's going to out-tank the living crap out of Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter just now getting his 2nd machine shop, but he's going to be producing tanks at 2/3 the speed. He's already lost the bulk of the tank advantage that he had built up from earlier on. And so the next best thing he can do right now is turtle up. You know, he's playing a very kind of slower, turtley, expand, methodical game. Turtle up a little bit, defend this 3rd base, and start exploding your production. And you can see that happening right now. He's going up to 6 factories, which is phenomenal. But he needs to keep them building 100% of the time. And he's set up to do so. You can look at the SCV counts. He's at 63 to 42. Helter Skelter building up. And with Hmeyer's strategy of keeping these going with all the tanks and now incorporating air units, he's reaching that point where he needs to get some damage or Helter Skelter is going to start overwhelming. Okay. Thanks, Ask. You're the best. Oh, and that's a legit one, too. Thank you so much. It's going to go straight to the StarCraft Underground tournaments. You know, it's funny. I was watching something with you, Esk. I think we were watching CSL or IPSL. And I saw you give the Prime subscription. And I was like, I lost it this month. Dang it. But it was to a good cause. Aaron is the man, and those are great, great channels. All right, so Hmeyer here, we were talking, this is the moment where he needs to get damage before Helter Skelter kind of overcomes him with production and money. And he is getting some of that damage now. Things I want to point out. CC is still healthy, right? It's still fine. He hasn't lost a ton of SCVs yet. He's basically just lost a couple of supply depots. So as scary as this feels, it's not that bad yet, but he needs to hold it off. And what's dangerous here is he doesn't have a lot of units. There are mines. Like, this isn't enough to hold it. Where's his army? Okay, maybe it is as bad as it looked because the vast majority of the supply here for Helter Skelter is SCVs. So a little bit on the back foot. Gonna have to pull back, consolidate, and try to hit this army as it's moving forward. Unfortunately, getting caught a little out of position here in this engagement area that was set up by Hmeyer. So gonna lose the mining at the 3rd base for the time being. But still maintained a good amount of SCVs. Didn't lose those, is just really losing the mining time over here. So there is a world where this can be retaken back. I want to point out, Hmeyer is taking his 3rd though. Now if this 3rd goes down uncontested, and Helter Skelter can't get his back up, it's going to be looking extra bad for our Blue Terran. But he's a fighter, and we know this. Slowly bleeding away a lot of the units here from Hmeyer. Look at this tank count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, plus more. There's a lot of tanks here for Hmeyer. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay. That was going to be devastating. The Goliaths are good, my man. What's going on in bases? All right, so we're wildly oversaturated. We have all those SCVs. They were rescued from the 3rd base. We do have our starport up. We're at 7 factories and 3 machine shops as well. Love to see it. Up here, we're at 6, 7. Damn it. 6, 7 factories, 4 machine shops. Getting additional upgrades. Where are we at right now? We're at +1 for Hmeyer. We're at 1-1 for Helter Skelter. Okay, so I feel like we have a good understanding of where we're at and kind of where we're going. We just lost a bunch of takes there for Helter Skelter, unfortunately, and I think all he was able to take was 1, maybe 2 tanks. Third base up for Hmeyer. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to zoom out real quick. This is a really rough contain. Weaknesses that I'm trying to look at. He's got a bunch of turrets over here. The outskirts may be able to get hit by air if there was some sort of transition, but the Goliaths are also sprinkled in. This is looking pretty challenging to break out outside of, I don't know, overwhelming one of the points, right? The one thing about this contain is that it is spread everywhere. So there might be an opportunity to like fight this in isolation, right? Or maybe take this. And I think this area is the priority. So this is where I think Helter Skelter is going to be focusing his efforts. Now, unfortunately, not a lot of vultures or anything to take up a lot of these initial tank shots. So the tanks here from Helter Skelter, I mean, he lost, I think, 4 or 5 of them before the siege was completed. So kind of a bummer. Helter Skelter in a tough spot. H-Meyer taking a 4th base up here in the top left. Win ahead, get more ahead. And I think Helter Skelter here starting to struggle on gas income. Still some in this guy, plenty in this one, but only stuck on 2 gas when trying to produce off of 3 machine shops and has a starport. So, building up a bit of a mineral bank. But this has been a banger. And now we're seeing the next stage of H-Meyer's plan. H-Meyer is now going into dropships. And I believe these were seen? Maybe not. Okay, and Helter Skelter is going to throw in the GG. I think he was at the point where he had identified, okay, H-Meyer's gotten so big, and I can't play a TVT for 20 hours. So, GG's, both players. That was a lot of fun. And we finally got that game cast. I'm so sorry for both of you that it took so long, but hopefully you enjoyed. Let's move into the next one. What is the next one? Oh, I didn't even update this mumbo jumbo. Let's go ahead and update this real quick. We got H-Meyer up against Who Knows with a 2-0 victory. Next up, we got Kanzaki versus some crazy guy that hangs out in chat and talks about fingering all the time, also known as Escalade. Alrighty. We've got Escalade versus Kanzaki. This is going to be a PVT. The first map is going to be Knockout. Let's get ready to rumble. God, thank you so much. Eska, oh yeah, instead of A's, he uses 4s because I'm not good at spelling. Against Kanzaki, who is our Terran. Excellent. Scoreboard looks dope. Love it. Love it. Okay, I wanted to see what I missed there when I was dealing with that. Father, thanks for the follow. Thank you. Welcome. We're getting some CPL casts in. I don't know what you said. Dada ZEZR? Probably. Alright, down here in the bottom right of Knockout, we got Kanzaki Renko, our blue Terran, up against Escalade, our red Protoss, up here in the top left. Sure to be a banger. Escalade kicking it off with a pylon down here at the natural, starting out a little bit of a wall, maybe get a forward gate. Well, thanks for watching. Now, I'm trying to think. Good strategies against Protoss as a Terran. 5-fact, 6-fact. Vulture drops. And pretending like your internet's bad and disconnecting. Saying GG early. These are all things that I think of when I play Protoss. I'm curious how Kanzaki approaches it. I'm looking to learn here from Kanzaki. He did throw a supply depot down here at the natural. Not entirely positive as to the purpose of this. Something that's actually a little bit interesting. I always try to avoid putting various objects down here at the natural outside of a bunker when against Protoss because of the Dragoon range. Because the Dragoon range pops up, and what I've been seeing on the ladder quite a bit, which is also just very common in general, is like a very fast 3 Dragoon kind of like push. And they just keep feeding the Dragoons. And once they get to about 5, they can really start tearing these buildings down pretty dang fast. Oh, okay. So what it looks like he's doing is he's creating a wall with his CC. So CC, Depot, Barracks, and he's getting a wall that kind of looks like this. Ooh, Manor Pylon. Escalade, you dog. Illegal move is right. You even let it finish? I guess you're supposed to, right? Is this worth it? Is this actually worth it, or is this just like something that Protoss players do because they have so much APM that like they feel bored, they want to do something to play the game? That was harsh. I'm sorry. I'm only being so mean to Protoss because it's Escalade playing. Okay, here comes the Zealot, and you're seeing the effects of this wall. So the Zealot was A moved, ended up getting a couple hits on one SCV, another SCV getting very low. But now we have the Zealot running all the way around. Now, I'm a little concerned. I don't think that the Marine actually has a SimCity to run back and forth at that natural end. So the Marine Micro is going to have to be very, very good because he is in the open. He's not going to really be able to get any shots off, to be honest. He's going to have to use SCVs, or he's going to have to get more Marines up here. This is going to be painful. The Zealot's already sitting at 4 kills. Okay, so he went and got a buddy. They're trying to take out this Zealot, but number 2, I imagine, is probably on the way. Where there's one, there's more. They're like cockroaches. We have the bunker out in front of the wall. Now, we did see earlier that the Marine popped up right here. So this terrain actually is forcing the Marine to spawn inside the wall. So we have Marines in the bunker, but unfortunately not in a place where they can fight these Zealots. Oh, I thought the first one got killed. Oh, man. Yeah, that body block was pretty cool. I actually thought it was a mistake, but now that you pointed out, that probably was a body block. I thought it was just naturally kind of a happening thing. All right, Zealot trying to get around, but now we're fully walled. Using a factory. This is the Great Wall of Terran. Unfortunately, there's still 2 Zealots being a complete nuisance here. Okay, this is such a frustrating part of StarCraft. How good Zealots are against Terran in the early game. It's so frustrating. And yeah, I know, there's little, like, you can do your SimCity. 3 Marines is great. If you get a Vulture out, you're fine. Yes, we get that. But this is taking all 165 of Kanzaki's APM to manage to just not die. And Escalade's probably drinking a martini, not even looking at the Zealots. He probably just A-moved them, and he's back home just building stuff. So much fun. Alright, we've got the Citadel going down. Not sure if this is going to go straight into like legs, or if it's going to be maybe DTs. Oh man, if he does a DT follow-up, that would be nasty. Meanwhile, Manor Pylon still there. And by the way, the last series was a catch-up series. The rest of these series, including this one, were ones that were asked to be casted because of their level of excitement. Because they were such fun series. So, I imagine we're going to see some shenanigans. We might see some really cool stuff. Okay, we've got the CC that looks like a candle. Supply depot going down. And at the end of that, after the dust has settled, things are looking okay. Kanzaki is at 26 to 29 SCVs. Not bad, right? Because he did get this expansion up. Still pretty early while the Zealots were focusing in the main. Now, as far as army, he's got his tank. He's got a Vulture. He's getting his armory. But what I want to see is some form of detection. I don't think we have an eBay, but that's okay. It doesn't look like we're actually going DTs. Oh no, we might. Alright, I'm waiting for it. This one. There it is! Oh, DT! Okay, we got 2 DTs being made, 2 more Zealots, and there's no detection right now. Something that is very tough to squeeze into your build after you've just received such heavy harassment. In a lot of Terran builds against Protoss, there's always kind of that moment where it's like, okay, now build an engineering bay now, and put a turret at your natural just in case DTs. But that can be forgotten sometimes when things get really stressful like this. Or just omitted, right? Like another form of DT defense are these mines. And we do have the Vulture out, so these mines going to have to do some work. And with that being said, right, like we do have these mines, and I don't think we have a robotics facility. So no observer going to be present for our Protoss player. Okay. Getting third base. 3 gateways. And now the DTs are making their way in. The mine was not enough. These DTs... Okay, now there's some cool things you can do here. If you siege and you shoot your own stuff, you might be able to hit this DT. Hit this Zealot. Shoot the Zealot. Shoot the Zealot. You can start damaging these DTs with the splash damage. See? Like that. He just killed one of the DTs. Oh, and he shot his own SCV. I love it. I love it. Modern problems require modern solutions. Oh my gosh, this DT is going to get so much value. Just killed that tank. It's at 4 kills. 5 kills. The wall is down. The Great Wall of Terra. We're getting more vultures. These are to drop those mines. Because right now we don't have any other way of really getting after this DT. This vulture is popping out. Okay, going to start plopping mines all over the place. Let's see if Kanzaki can fend off this push from Escalade. Oh, that should be plenty. Yep, down goes the DT. More mines out front. Kanzaki doing a great job of holding this. Did a really good job with the Vulture there to try to dodge his own mine. And we're stabilized. We're stabilized! Okay, gotta do a little bit of base rearranging. Down here we have our science vessel. And +1 is almost completed. Now, I don't think Kanzaki is going to be able to push out too much right now. He's going to get out there with these vultures, which are still slow, by the way. He's got speed upgrading right now. He's going to get some mines on the map. But I imagine he might take 1 or 2 of these and get an idea of what Escalade's up to. If he's on 3 bases, which bases he's at, and if there's a route to secure his own third. This has been a banger so far. Okay, we got 1 factory, 3, 4 up here, so 5 factories, going into 6 factories. 2 machine shops, getting that tank count nice and healthy again. Not a huge army for our Protoss player. We got some out here in the middle, some out here. It looks like Escalade might be trying to think about taking a 4th here soon. And yeah, you see the vultures out on the map, kind of snooping and pooping. We do have a robotics facility. I don't see an observatory. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we do have an observatory going down. We've got stargates going down. So generally, after DTs, one of the things that you're probably expecting is arbiters. And so we'll see if we start seeing Goliaths mixed in here or an increase in science vessel count. He has 1. I haven't seen EMP get researched, though. So he's primarily using the science vessel at the moment for detection, but no more DTs out on the field. Okay, Vulture's going to come up here. He did see this base, but Kanzaki may think that this is the 3rd, as he hasn't seen this one just yet. Okay. Alright, I've been clicking all over the place. Let's slow down. Whew, let's take a breath. Upgrades. We're at +1 weapons for our Terran. +1 weapons for our Protoss. We do have observers. Both sides have detection. And when it comes to tech from the Protoss side, we do have arbiters coming up. Okay. So as expected, post DT. Not to mention, I've just been seeing arbiters a lot in CPL. A lot of Protoss players have been choosing to go arbiters, and we've got ourselves a game. Kanzaki has come back from early Zealot pressure that went insane, a DT follow-up, and is now, I think, probably at the point where he needs to start thinking about taking a third base. But if he does, then we're going to be set up for a nice macro game between Kanzaki and Escalade. Alright, first Arbiter is being produced. When it comes to research, Stasis is the first upgrade that we're looking to get for Arbiters, as opposed to Recall. And EMP is also being researched. So we're going to see a point where it's going to start coming down to how well Kanzaki can EMP those Arbiters to keep his tanks back still in the fight when he decides to push out or decides to try to get third base. And it's tricky. It is so annoyingly tricky. Pros make it look easy, but looking at your mini-map and being like, oh, there's the Arbiter. Let me shoot a missile that takes forever and hit this moving target. Okay. Starting to mass up on vultures. Placing mines. Getting out here to keep an eye on the Protoss army. Okay, Escalade just going to clear through these, using his zealots as complete fodder. Look at all these mines. Very secured natural base at the moment. But again, I think the win condition isn't really going to be possible for Kanzaki until he gets a third base up. I feel like that needs to be his priority. And there might be a point that he's waiting for to start thinking about that. A lot of tanks. A lot of tanks. Another science vessel. We are mixing in some Goliaths as well. Protoss still on 4 bases. The all mineral base slowly getting saturated. And it looks like Protoss is also thinking about getting a 5th. So the mine's going to see this. This sometimes will generate a reaction, just seeing a probe hanging out by a mine for some vultures to head out there. Try and knock it out, get in the way. Might see that here coming up soon. We're chilling. We're chilling. We're at +2 weapons, getting +3 weapons. So completely omitting armor here for Terran. Trying to max out those weapons as soon as possible. And it looks like, okay, so Kanzaki's getting organized. Oh, here we go. Is he going to push, or is he going to just try to secure a third? Okay, he spotted this army down here. It's going to force the Terran to bring his tanks back behind these mines. Okay, there's the big siege. A lot of zealots going down. There we go. The goons now coming in range. This looks like it can be set up to be a really good engagement for Terran. Yeah, a bunch of Dragoons going down. Okay, that was a great trade for Kanzaki. Now, is he going to move out? Looks like he's thinking about it. I wouldn't be mad if he just took, not this base. Yeah, either this base or this base up here. Looks like he's slowly extending kind of his mines up towards this area, so this base might be the one he's thinking about. But he might just be trying to go out on the offense as well. Yeah, that was a big mine hit on the tanks back there, staged. You're 100% right. The ones like right here. Mines. It's the best Protoss unit. It's really tough to like click them down too. You'll see pros and stuff like kill their own mines when they reestablish siege lines. That was like really fast. He had to get back and siege immediately. Oh, huge stasis. See, now you see the EMP, right? Like, it's so difficult to get the EMP off in time. But all 3 of these Arbiters do now have 0 energy. But that stasis was enormous. Taking 5 tanks out of the fight is such a big deal. Another thing I want to point out, though, the stasis hit the tanks in the front, which is really making it difficult for these Zealots to close the distance. So again, we might be seeing a pretty dang good trade for a Terran player, but I don't know. He lost a lot of vultures. He's losing a lot of tanks. He's still losing more. The supply is saying that Protoss is doing phenomenal here, but I think Protoss is about to lose pretty much their whole army. But what does it look like back home for production? That's how Escalade's being able to do this. He's got 6 gateways, 6 more. He's sitting at a dozen gateways, 13. So yeah, 13 gateways, allowing Escalade to remax pretty fast. Back up to 170 supply already. And Kanzaki's doing everything he can to slow down this Protoss force. Holy Arbiters, Batman. Okay, we see, what is there, 5? 5 Arbiters here, keeping everything mega cloaked. And this Protoss army is just slowly marching straight through the natural, and that's going to be it. Kanzaki throws in the GG. And that was a great game. That was a real fun game. That's going to go ahead and give Escalade 1 win. And let's go into game number 2. Right, game number 2. Are we going to see more DTs? That's the real question. Now, this game is going to be on Polestar. Which is 2 words, by the way. Whew, another 4-player map. Let's get it. I'm excited. We've got Escalade, our red Terran, in the bottom right. We've got Kanzaki, our red Protoss in the bottom right. Blue Terran in the bottom left is Kanzaki. Escalade screwing up his split, making sure his opponent knows. Or didn't screw up his split and is just trying to get in the head of Kanzaki. Like, oh, my split was so bad. Don't rush me. Sets up a rush defense. Classic Escalade. Alright, so what can we take away from that last game? We know that Kanzaki is creative with his walling at the natural. That was something that he was comfortable doing. I don't know if it worked out the way he was hoping it would, because the Zealots still got through. I think the early game Zealot pressure really put Kanzaki kind of on the back foot and maybe messed up his initial plan with his build, because then we saw the DT follow up and we didn't have detection in time. We luckily had mines, and with some creative siege tank firing, he shot at his own SCV there to get some damage. Kanzaki proved to be extremely tough to take out with early pressure, so I don't know if that's going to be the plan again here from Escalade. Escalade we then saw go straight into Arbors, which he got a bunch of, and I think the pivotal engagement in that last game was in the middle, when Escalade was able to get that stasis off and kill 5... I'm sorry. He's stealing his gas? Anyway, he stasis 5 tanks, and then I think that was a big deal. Okay, we have a gas steal here. 4-player map down in the bottom left. And this is such a frustrating thing. He's even taking some gas. We have a gateway out here at the natural as well, getting his own assimilator. And, so, like, what do? Right? Do you just go bio? Do you grab 5 SCVs and start taking this down? This is something that I'm actually not positive as to the correct answer. Do you go for an early expansion and just hold off and get your gas later? This is going to throw everything off. This is going to make it very challenging for him to get his factory out when he was hoping. And if he does take SCVs to try to, fight it down, that's going to take a ton of lost mineral time. And now we already have a Zealot coming in for additional pressure on top of that gas steal. Now, again, we're trying to wall off here at the natural. Unfortunately, that supply depot did not get completed. So we're supply blocked as well for our Terran player. And the SCV at the CC also went down. So Marines are coming back here to take out this assimilator. That's going to take some time. And that's going to alleviate the pressure on these Zealots so that Escalade can get 2 of them and send them up into the main. Now again, some of our takeaways from last game is that Kanzaki is no chump when it comes to these early game pressure. So doing really good micro over here. Oh, I'm right clicked, that's why. And it looks like he's going to be able to clear these zealots okay, but he might lose some more SCVs. Another one goes down. Oh my gosh. Okay, good. Saves that SCV for the moment. And the Marines end up taking it out of the zealots. So we're up at 5 Marines. So luckily for Kanzaki, he had already gotten this command center thrown down, because building a lot of Marines early on can really delay that command center. But when you're not spending minerals on factories, because gas steel, you can afford this. Yeah, those zealots did key that depot. They came in with their chopsticks and just scratched the paint off everything. Meanwhile, for Escalade, we're at 2 gateways. We're getting Dragoon range, getting a 3rd gateway up as well. So looking to keep the pressure on. And Kanzaki did take out the assimilator here and is now able to get his own refinery up and running. But he's lost so much time mining gas. What's a Terran to do? The answer? Bio, baby. Now, if he throws down a bunch of bio, the reason why Terran players don't usually go bio against Protoss is the splash damage potential, right? Like, the DPS is great, right? Like, Marines shoot fast, they pack a punch, they're microable, but when a Reaver comes out, a single Scarab just melts them, just mulches them, turns them into little Marine Krabby Patties. And then Storm, ugh. So, we'll see how this goes. I imagine that it's not going to be a full commit into bio, but more of just a stand-in. Like, he needs something that can shoot until he can start getting his factories up. So, he's getting his 2, I guess 3 barracks pumping. He's got his academy. He's going to start incorporating some medics into this force. Oh no, is he going to lose this bunker? No, he brings 2 SCVs, brings a 3rd one for good luck. Keep this nice and repaired. And right now, even after all of that, Kanzaki does have the superior worker count. He's got 23 SCVs to the 21 probes. Marines getting good damage here, kills another Zealot. Need to be careful with the Marines though. They are fragile, but we're starting to get medics incorporated here. We're even getting +1 armor, and it looks like stim. So I guess Kanzaki, what he can do is, I was saying that maybe this would just be like an intermediary, right? Like, get enough bio to not die, get your gases up, probably take your 2nd gas here at the natural, and start going back into your mech plan. But it looks like there might be an opportunity here. Look, he's getting range as well, to use his bio to knock out these Dragoons and then potentially counterattack. Now, one thing I want to point out is that this would have been kind of a cool follow-up to have DTs. Right? You get that gas deal, like, now go DTs. But we're going to have the comp stats coming up, so there is going to be some detection out here. And now, here we go. We think we've hit critical mass with the Marines. They're moving out, trying to kill these Dragoons. And the armor is a good call in this. Now, the armor's not done, but when Dragoons, you know, unupgraded Dragoons, they're doing 20 damage to these Marines. So 2 shots is killing a Marine. If you get that armor, all of a sudden, you make it 3 shots. So, good call there. Yakub, what's up, man? Thanks for the follow. Oh, they do half damage, Hazareth? My bad. Gotcha, stupid explosive damage. Well then, negate everything I just said. No, but still, it does add another hit. So instead of 4, it'd be 5. Which is still nice game sense to understand. Okay, beating up that Dragoon there. Now, the Dragoon numbers have increased pretty drastically. We saw this engagement. It didn't quite go the way Kanzaki was hoping for, I don't think. I want to see what he's doing. Looks like we're still committing into the bio, waiting for that +1 armor. Range did complete, though, something to keep in mind. Escalade on the map to take his 3rd base. And I would say Escalade's still very much so ahead, and primarily because of the composition that Kanzaki was forced into committing to. Now we have Robotics Facility, we've got Citadel. I don't know what the heck this thing is. What is it? Pylon? I can't even see because of that. I want to know. Okay, it's a pylon. And sitting at 4 gateways. Okay. That's where we're at. A lot of bio here. This is crazy. If you were to open up this game and just look at this, you'd think this was a TVZ match. And we start having our factories going down. All right, so we're getting our first factory. We're throwing down a 4th barracks. And we are getting some turrets. So if you're doing this as Terran, one of the things that you're probably thinking about, yeah, exactly what you're saying, Arya, right, is how do I defend this army against the inevitable Reaver, right? Because if you do this, you're asking for Reavers. And look at the body blocks from these SCVs corralling these Dragoons into the guns of these Marines. That was a beautiful move. Definitely got more punishment on the Protoss player than really expected right there. A whole bunch more Dragoons coming up here to fight this bio force. This looks like it's going to be enough to clean up what Kanzaki has. So a little unfortunate there for our Terran player. And now he's mixing in some fire bats, bringing out the whole biotech tree. And he's going to have to retreat. Oh no, he's caught on the low ground here though. Okay, he's stimming up. Nice, the fire bats just shredding these Dragoons. Who knew? Tanks a good amount of hits, and the bio trying to do what it can. A lot of medics here keeping these Marines alive, allowing them to get way more shots off than they have any business doing so. And that did pretty good. That did pretty good. But right now our Terran player is falling behind economically. His army is not quite where you want it to be, but we do finally have tanks and siege mode being upgraded. So this is really just a game for Kanzaki of don't die. Like right now, that's the priority. Don't die and get into some tech that can actually start killing these Dragoons. Now we have an observer out on the field. We got a second observer. If I were to guess, I would have thought he was going to go like shuttles and then Reavers, but not seeing any Reavers yet. But we do have a Templar Archives. So High Templar and Storm might be the splash damage of choice to start shredding this bio. Escalade, you were stunned? I was stunned. I took his gas and he made bio. I had no idea. No, Esk hasn't lost yet. Alright, so we do have a tank. Tanks bring confidence. Confidence brings victory. That's where Kanzaki's mind is at right now. Meanwhile, up here, the Protoss moving around up to the north side. Yeah, I know, Nitekat. I did throw ads on the channel. I really like supporting the SKU tournaments. So all that money goes towards SKU. And it encourages Prime subs. It's cheeky, I know, my bad. Alright, we got some tanks up. We've got the Terran force out front of this natural, starting to really stabilize. I want to see more factories, more of them. Instead, we're seeing +1 weapons being thrown into the mix for the bio. And Kanzaki is, I think, at this point where it's like, well, I'm already neck deep in bio. Let's just keep going. So far, it's been good. I haven't seen any Reavers yet. And once you hit a critical mass, like, it is pretty gross. Like, the amount of damage that this Marine medic can spit out is pretty intense. Ooh. But the hard counter to all things with blood. High Templar. Alright, big engagement here. In the middle of the map. The tanks doing work. Pushing away this Protoss force. Now, unfortunately, we're still at 22 SCVs. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Those Marines just got turned into sausages, man. Is there another one? There's another one. Oh, that one only getting a medic. Bio having to fight these Dragoons all by themselves. Yeah, no kidding. Except Plague never killed anybody. Plague never killed anybody. Bad spell. Alright, nice micro here from the tanks, trying to keep them alive. Going unsieged for the moment to keep them away from those zealots. And now, the second form of splash damage. The almighty Reaver. Robot Slug. Oh, but it dies! The tanks knock it out. The bio can live another day. And we're still going into it. Kanzaki continuing to pump out Marines like it's his job. Sending them out. Observer's going to be seeing more fire bats and Marines heading his way. Escalade on the back foot now. But oh, where there's a storm, there's a way. But there's not, because he doesn't have enough energy, so he runs away. And now we've got a nice little tank line here, sitting on the high ground, knocking out Dragoons. The biggest issue here is the lack of economy for Kanzaki. If he gets this push and these tanks start getting bled off, there's not going to be a good way for him to remax at any type of speed, right? We're sitting on one tank. You can see the queued up tanks here. I really wish he had like 2 more factories. 2 more factories and then continue in this composition. I think that's feasible while also building some SCVs. Meanwhile, Escalade on 3 saturated bases, and knowing him, a lot of gateways. We got 3, 6, 7, going up to 8. Well, I guess he's got one here too, so he's got 8 going up to 9. Okay, here's a storm. Where's it gonna go? Nowhere, because he died. Kanzaki doing a great job of sniping these High Templar. Firebats taking care of the Zealots. Now, unfortunately, this looks like a critical massive Dragoon starting to melt these tanks, which we haven't been able to upgrade because we've been focusing on the bio upgrades. Ooh, and here comes the Scarabs. Now, this army is getting cleaned up, but we've got the second army, the reinforcements coming for our Terran player. Almost sniping off that High Templar. A couple Marines trying to get it done. Unfortunately, not quite. Now the siege is coming in, but oh, the Scarab knocks out one of them. The micro here just going crazy, but the next tank does go down as well. And so now when you see these Reavers, you gotta start drifting away from the bio, I think. All right, the counter push coming from our Protoss player. We now have a shuttle flying by the Reaver. I'm sure it'll go back and pick it up. Yep, there he goes. He's like, whoops, sorry, my bad. Oh, man. This has been a phenomenal game. And so Escalade has a window of opportunity here where he can probably push in. Now, there is a tank. There's a second tank. Oh, but he's going to be coming in with the Reaver. And we're already been talking about how there's only 20-something SCVs. Nice storm drop. Only going to kill 1 SCV, but he still has a Reaver in here. Oh, and the SCVs, he's reacting. The storm drop gave away the shuttle. And he's going to have to fly away with the Reaver. But damage done, right? More lost mining time. Killed an SCV. Is that... High Templar still there. It could do it again if it felt like it. Oh, okay, an SCV's attacking it. Alright, we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, at the front of the base, Zealots charging in, getting on top of the tank. And oh no! The Scarabs and the Dragoons killing everything with a heartbeat. We need to target down this Reaver. The Reaver cannot live. Absolute mayhem here at the natural for our Terran. Dragoon goes down. By the way, that SCV, okay, get out of here. I think has a kill. Yeah, 1 kill SCV. Warrior SCV killed that High Templar. Okay, so the tank production's been really good. Oh, and that's because we have a second factory. Okay, so we did get a second factory, but I think it's just a little too late. A little too late. If Escalade keeps this pressure on, there it is. GG. Fun games. Oh my goodness. The gas steal. Oh. Gotta protect your gas. Alright. Escalade's gonna take that one 2-0. Now next up we've got Dada versus Scimo. Now I have been told that Dada prefers to be called Big Daddy. So if you're talking about this game, please refer to him as such to show respect. So anyway, we're going to be going into game 1. Now this is back in week 6, so the maps are going to be a little bit different. The first map we're going to be playing on is going to be the 3-player map, Neo-Sylphid, which if you've been keeping up to date on the next maps, is one of the maps that is being proposed for this upcoming ASL. So very exciting. Okay, Neo-Sylphid, score sheets. Let me get that all squared away. So we got, whoops, got Big Daddy as our Zerg. We've got Scimo as our Toss. We are on Neo-Sylphid. Yeah, I think everything's good in the world now. Okay, Scimo, Scimo. We're gonna call him Scimo. Scimo here is our red Protoss. He spawned in the bottom left, and our blue Zerg, Zerg Apologist, also known as Big Daddy. Papa Fresh is gonna be down here in the bottom right. I've heard that this game is an absolute banger. Multiple, or at least this series, multiple people have recommended this one. Ooh, we're starting off fresh. Hiding the pylon behind the tree. This is to fool opponents into thinking that it's just growing on the tree. Don't worry about that, it's just an apple. It looks like we're going into a 9 pool for Dada. So aggressive builds for both players. Gateway straight in the middle of the map. Are we gonna do a second gateway? Center 2 gate? Yes, we are! I'm already happy. I mean, if you're watching Protoss, you either need to see a lot of Reavers or a center 2 gate in order for it to be fun. And he's gonna get the first scout off. Which, not the most important on a 3-player map. 3-player maps, you can expect this kind of cheese, I guess, if you want to call it that. Because it's so easy to identify where or where not your opponent is. But getting in and getting that first scout is going to allow him to actually poke around and see what's going on. He saw the drone pop out, but he doesn't necessarily know if there's an expansion. I'd like to see this probe bounce around more. But he might be trying to protect this probe to use in conjunction with the zealots that are going to be coming out here soon. So he's going to come up here. He's going to see no gas taken. He's going to see that there's a spawning pool. And it's likely to know that this is probably going to be a 9 pool. Now he's only seeing 2 Zerglings though. Now he's seeing 4. Oh, and he keeps the probe alive. Alright, now we've got 2 zealots. Is he going to go with the 2 or is he going to wait for a 3rd? Alright, he's moving out. He's moving out. G-House. Zerglings got juked. And we're sitting at 4 Zerglings. As opposed to the 6 that we can come to love and respect from a 9 pool. Ooh, that's because we're going into a 3rd hatchery. So, Dada's plan, definitely looking to be a Hydraless build coming up here soon, kind of like as a follow-up, but he's going to have to deal with this center 2 gate, which I don't think he's scouted the other base yet. So he doesn't know that these gateways aren't necessarily in the main. Unless he's really, really good at just knowing timings. Oh, we got a pylon going down here at the natural. Do we have a forge? Okay, no forge. So no cannons. Clogging up this super tight gap here. Oh, shield battery. Yeah, you're right. Let's see if that's what goes down. Undoubtedly, you're correct. He's gonna put it right here by this. Yep, there's the shield battery. And we've already got 6 zealots at the natural. Big Daddy had to cancel his third hatchery. He's getting a second hatchery in the main. And he's going to have to fend this off with just Zerglings. I think he's dead. Getting a creep colony. Charging up. Oh man, this is rough. This is rough. Scimo doesn't seem to recognize he could probably just A-move through this and win the game. Sunken Colony does get completed. Here come the Zerglings trying to save it. Oh, and they do! The Sunken Colony survives. The Zerglings scare away the Zealots. They have to run back home to the shield battery. Now, it's out of energy. It's going to have to slowly recharge. Now, what's the plan here? We get another hatchery, but we're sitting at 11 drones. Okay, I like that we're fighting within range of the Sunken. One Zealot does go down. They're going to start targeting down the Sunken again. It doesn't have long to live. It's about to go down. It dies. We're stuck on just Zerglings. More hatch. Another Zealot goes down. Two more take its place. And now we have no army for Big Daddy. And the Zealots run away. What is going on? We've got the creep colony going down. We're going up to layer. We're gonna fight this with mutas. If we can get there. we're like 2 minutes off from mutas, alright? But we've got a chance. Maybe. We don't have a big chance. Alright, here we go. Warrior drone. And that's gonna be it. Oh my goodness. Why is that modded? NCX, the word water sports got modded. Sorry about that. Alright, anyway. Yeah, GG. Let's go into game numero dos. Get the big cam, as my scene is called. Yeah, I fixed it, Escalade. See that? Unfiltered fingering. Alright, so Scimo is going to go up 1-0. Let's go ahead and pull up game number 2. This one's going to be on Eclipse. So we went from 3-player map with cheese to a 2-player map, which even asks for more cheese. Ah! There. I'm going to Alt-Tab, but it's not happening, so I keep moving the camera. All right, here we are on Eclipse, 2-player map. We've got Big Daddy up here in the top right, our blue Zerg. They just got center 2 gated. And we've got the culprit of the said center 2 gate, Scimo, down here in the bottom left. And look at this. Look at this. Is he going to do it again? Oh my gosh. Yeah, NCX, can you explain why water sports is a banned term? It's confusing. I don't get it. Does that have to do with slip and slides? Don't get peed on? You mean like don't get protossed? I don't get it. Anyway, over here, we'll see if we see another 9. But what is this? What? Oh my gosh. Sneaky, sneaky Scimo. Is he looking for the Overlord? Or was that like a misclick? Not entirely sure what he was doing there. I'm in for a treat. Thanks, Big Sklur. I'll Google it later. Yeah, it looks that way. Oh dear. He was looking for an Overlord. He just snuck this probe in. We've got a pylon in the main. Unspotted by our Zerg apologist. This has potential to be dirty. Got a forge going on here at the natural, so for all intents and purposes, it's going to look like a forge fast expand. Damn it, Escalade. How is water sports banned, but squirting sports is like totally okay to say? Oh! Oh, we got cannons! I'm excited. Nitekat, you're not going to change the subject that easily. All right, anyway, Zerg also expanding. Now, last game we saw Zerg go into a quick third hatchery. Might see more of the same here. Big Daddy really has no reason to alter his game plan from the last match. Okay, when is... Oh my gosh, he's just in the fog. Got a second cannon and a gateway. Shoot, man, why don't you just build a Nexus in here too? Just get it all. Get it all in there. Cannon here at the natural. Now this is important because we do have Lings coming. And one of these cannons, I mean, it should be able to get one of the Lings, but the other Ling has a likelihood of getting in there. We'll see if this probe can body block. Oh, and the cannon's not even done! Okay, Dada needs to not... Don't worry about the cannon. Don't worry about it. Go in the main! Is he gonna just kill the cannon? Okay, no. Dang! So Dada's still unaware that there's nothing going on up here. Oh, and here comes the Zealot. It's going straight into the mineral line. Dada notices and he's like, WTF, mate? Where'd you come from? And now he knows. He's like, what? Right in front of my larva? Oh my gosh. And I thought CPL was a place of honor. Alright, we got 6 Lings running around on the map. We got 4 more back here. Everyone's coming home. We got creep colonies going down. We've got pylons now going at the gate. This creep colony dies. Need to keep this probe alive. Zealots going to the gate. Ramp. Okay. That pylon, little ambitious. That was a little ambitious. But everything else still kosher. We got 3 Zealots up here in the main. Completely denying all mining here in the main base. Now, I think attacking the hatchery is cool, but almost attacking the spawning pool sounds like a fun idea. Oh my gosh, but the number of Lings we have are shredding the cannons. Now we've got essentially an undefended gateway and pylons trying to get more cannons down as well. Need to keep this probe alive. Got to keep it alive. The cannon looking like it might finish. Might be in range of this hatchery. Maybe not. I'm going to go with no. But we'll see if we even get a chance to find out. The Zergling's coming in. They're targeting it down. It dies. Going for the pylon next. Dada doing a great job. Keep trying to conserve the number of Zerglings. I say that and he loses a couple. Alright, gonna get this round here on this Zealot. And I say that and it runs away. This is good. This is good. Trust your eyes, not what I say. Oh, we might be nearing the end here of this attack. All the Zealots have died. One just now pops out, but there are plenty of Zerglings here to deal with it. It looks like Scimo is going to end up losing everything that he had built in the Zerg's base. Okay, now back home. He's got 3 cannons, Cybernetics Core, Gateway, pretty far forward. We'll see how this fares for the counterattack. What? We still gotta kill this, Dad. I don't think we're gonna see anything produced out of here again, but it'd be pretty funny if it just gets forgotten. Alright, Dada deciding he's going to kill the gateway real quick, knock out the pylon. End of that. Okay, that's complete. Now back here at the Protoss base, how are we looking? Still have a worker advantage, and it looks like we're kind of going back into the Forge Fast Expand without the expand. We're going straight into Stargate. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is here. We're going to get some Zealots. I feel like you might want a couple more cannons. Just because you know there's so much coming. Now, I guess they are all Zerglings. We do have kind of this wall off with these 3 other structures. There's no tech yet for Daddy. Still on just drones and Zerglings. So maybe this is what makes sense, but I do feel like the expansion needs to go down here for Scimo. Welcome Beat, welcome Crimson Joe. I see you all. What's MUU? I don't know what that means. Isn't that what a cow says? Alright, Corsairs are out on the field. Looking to strike back with some more conventional units. Flying over a bunch of Zerglings. Now, there's no anti-air. Nothing. Nada. Zippo. So the opportunity here to knock out a few of these Overlords is pretty high. Especially if we get additional Corsairs. Now, we have a second one on the field as well. Gonna just barely miss this guy. But Dada really is just sitting here just hoping. Just, come on, finish Hydra Den. Finish. I feel like he's got all of his larvae just selected right now, just waiting to turn them into Hydralisks. And then he realizes, I don't really have that much gas or supply because all my Overlords are dying. So forced to make an Overlord, getting a couple Hydras out. Oh, the pain. There we go, we got Hydras. Shoot them down, boys. Do something. There we go. All right. So it looks like we're going to start stabilizing here for both players and go into a little bit of a normal game. Now, Protoss is kind of the one to catch up, right? And I think that the Corsairs was a good way to do so. Knock out some of those Overlords, keep the Zerg, having to produce those, while meanwhile you get your expansion up. I don't know if 2 Stargates was the way to go, but maybe. We've got 3 Corsairs out on the field right now. And now it's Dad's turn. 48 of 35 supply. So, like I was saying, the Corsairs really did do a good job of slowing the Zerg down. Keep the Overlords dead, so he can't come bust with a whole bunch of Hydras. That was actually a really good call, the more I'm thinking about it. Because if he had done what I was thinking or expecting he would do, like expand first and then go into Stargates and stuff, the opportunity for the Hydralisk to just, that count to just explode would have been way too much. There's a couple hatches. We got 3 hatches going down, so going up to 6 hatcheries. And now we're at the point where Dada's going to start just flooding the field with Hydralisks. Might even need a second gas here soon. Alright, we got 5 Corsairs coming in to try to snipe more Overlords. Eating some Hydralisk shots. There's not a ton of Hydras here, but you do still need to be careful. So running in, killing 1 Overlord for the cost of a Corsair. And Dada trying to make sure that the Protoss can't get out, can't expand to a 3rd base. And a lot of cannons going down, which I think makes sense. Like, he's poked in with the Corsairs. He knows that Hydralisk production is heavy and underway. And now we're starting to see gateways get thrown down, Templar tech. Maelstrom. Going into Maelstrom, we're going to see Dark Templar? Ooh. Exciting. I love seeing random, or I guess spells that you don't see all the time. Like the other day, I tried to throw out a lockdown in a game that was basically lost to carriers. That was fun. I was trying to find fun ways of using optical flare the other day with medics. It's just fun to see some of these spellcasters that don't get a lot of screen time. Now, we normally see Maelstrom used against groups of like Mutalisks to then storm them. I haven't really seen them used a lot with Hydralisks, but I guess the same theory applies, right? Maelstrom and then just storm on top. Or just kill it with some other way. So we do have our DTs coming out. Hydralisk count is growing. We're starting to take up the whole map with patrolling Zerglings. I think they're patrolling. And holy Corsairs! So if you want to know the number of Corsairs you need to kill an Overlord in like 3 seconds, 7. 7 is the number of Corsairs you need to kill an Overlord in 3 seconds. Alright, Zergling's keeping an eye on them. Alright, now both players are kind of content with just powering up. But I think time is against our Protoss player, I think. Zerg's got 3 bases, has the opportunity to continue expanding across the map. There's really nothing on the map for Protoss to prevent that from occurring. 2 Dark Archoms. Yeah, you're right, Dada. It's kind of funny that this is the stage we're at after it started with a Protoss, like, in base, all in. Queen's Nest. Evo Chamber. What is happening? Got the Overlord sniping crew hanging out over there at the 8 o'clock. More Corsairs in production. So definitely going to maintain air superiority for sure. Force a bunch of Hydralisks, which were already being generated anyway. And then we're going to Maelstrom the crap out of them and jump on with Zealots. That's the plan. That's the plan. Special tactics. Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone that may have a lisp. There's just certain phrases that when I see, I think of Mike Tyson saying it. And it makes me smile. Alright, we're here at 9 Corsairs. Okay, bunch of Zealots. Trying to get a 3rd. Not sure if Zerg saw that. Might sneak the Zergling up there, maybe not. The score's wrong, by the way. Well, let me go ahead and fix that. Oh yeah, you're right. Scimo won last game. Thank you. Thank you, Crimson Joe. I think Scimo was the left on the big screen, so I just assumed he was the left on that one. Alright, so we're getting a 3rd base. Oh no. So Dada has been really kind of sitting back, and I'm wondering, like, his supply is crazy. He's 136 supply right now. Zerglings have been all over. He now knows where the Protoss army is, and we've got a Spire going down. Okay. Why were we getting Hive Tech? What was I missing? Because we got the Queen's Nest. We didn't go to Hive. Do we need to Spire 4 Queens? Is he trying to make Queens? I'm not going to notice if you missed an upgrade. So you might as well just tell us, Dada. I don't know Zerg's tech tree at all. Yeah, I know you made the Queen's Nest. Okay, Queens don't require Spire, so you just need the Queen's Nest. I mean, you need a Hive. Right? My god. Realizing my lack of knowledge. Oh, you have no Hydra speed? Yeah, Hydra speed's important. Alright, so we're getting some Scourge out. We're kind of sick of Overlords killing, or I'm sorry, Corsairs killing all of our Overlords. What is this? We got Mind Control! Mind Control! Oh, I am loving this. I love you, Dada. I do. But if Scimo can kill you with a Zerg army, that would be pretty fun to see. Mevius, if you know him, did that to me early on in my Starcraft journey. We were playing and he mind controlled an SCV and killed me with Terran. That was fun. You ever want to be tilted as a learning player? Play against a Protoss that wants to mind control your stuff. Alright, here we go. Look at this hit squad. We got a Probe, 2 Dark Templar, 5 Zealots. They're looking for something. Got a whole bunch of Zealots here. Got some dumbass Scourge. Flying around looking for Corsairs. Oh, man. No Scourge is going to penetrate that. Look at this. Look at this wave. Do something with it. No, we lost the Dark Templar. Use this one. Maelstrom. He used it. Another one. All these Hydras frozen. Wow, Maelstrom really doesn't last that long. Holy cow. Might be better off with stasis. I guess you can't hurt stasis things, but still. Or even D-Web. I want to see D-Web. D-Web is actually what we want here. Yeah, Storms. We could have just used Storm. Yeah, Maelstrom's better paired with Storm. Okay, I like the mix-in with the DTs, though. Because we do have the Corsair Force to just eliminate all detection. Like, yeah, we're going to lose some Corsairs here, but we're going to kill every Overlord, and now the DTs can just go ham. Ham sauce. Alright. Hydralisk coming in here, looking for a bust. If we Maelstrom with this guy and use the DTs, I guess we don't even need to Maelstrom. DTs are just going to go to work anyway. Oh no, we're going to lose another DT! Or Dark Templar, or whatever this guy's called. Dark Templar. Dark Archon. Alright. Maelstrom did cut the numbers in half there for a little bit. All those Overlords being wiped out did supply block Dada as well. So what he's got on the field is what he's got for the moment. Ooh, pretty unfortunate route there for the Corsairs. And we lost all the cannons that were here at the natural. Starting to look a little bit bad for our Protoss player. Holy crap. Turns out the plan from Dada was max out on really slow Hydralisks and walk across the map. And that's what he did. Oh, wow. GG. That game went all over the place. We started off with in the base, Gateway and Cannons, into Corsairs. Zerg came back, basically tried to max out on slow Hydralisks. That was a lot of fun. Very good recommendation. All right, we are off to game number 3. Now, what we've seen so far, we've seen Scimo do center 2 gate and an in-base Gateway and Cannons. Is this just a thing that we see from Scimo? Is he just a little cheesy? Let's find out in game number 3. Now we are going to Radion. I heard the graphics are better on this map. Whew, 4-player map. Up in the top right, we've got Scimo, our red Protoss. Down here in the bottom left, we've got Big Daddy, our blue Zerg. Loves himself some Hydras. I was kind of hoping for a 4 pool, but I don't think we're going to be fortunate enough to be graced with that. But yeah, I doubt there's going to be any cheese here. Alright, we got 9. We can do an Overlord. Yeah, okay, so we'll probably see an overpool here for our Zerg player. We've got an in-base Pylon. You'll look at that from Scimo. Mixing it up. But still doing Pylon Scout. Where is that probe going? Where is this guy going? Experience would tell me he was going down to the bottom right. Oh, look at that. He is. Now, we do have a gateway in the base. Okay, so it looks like this is looking pretty normal. One thing I want to point out is that normal is also very commonly, especially in CPL, the Forge Fast Expand against Zerg. That's generally the standard build. But we're opening up with gateway. Are we going to see a 2-gate? Let's see what this guy builds. Okay, so we are going straight into 2-gate. Spawning pool is down. Looks like Dada might be trying to expand here. Expecting a scout. He's hiding the drone before he throws it out. So probe is going to be coming in. So good awareness there from Dada. But he's got the cache. He's not going to wait any longer. Throws the expansion down. The probe's going to see it. So initial zealot on the way. Now I think we're going to be okay. as Zerg. And I say that because the first game on Neo Sylphid, even with the center 2 gate, I felt like Dada did a pretty dang good job of surviving as well as he could have, right? Like, once the shield battery went down, and the fact that there was just so many zealots, it was pretty much just, it was kind of a build order win, really. He still held his own for quite a while, and I think cross-spawn 2 gate, I think he's going to be okay. Now, we do have, yo, what's up, Kriggy? Yo, we do have this pylon going down here at the 3rd base location. Kind of curious about that. And it looks like we'll go up to 5 zealots, and we'll see if he moves out. Ooh, nice little 3rd base up here in the top left, securing the main for the Zerg swarm. And we've got 3 zealots moving out across the map. Okay, so Dada's going to see this. He didn't get all the way up into the natural to see if there was an expansion. But I feel like if you see the number of zealots at this time, it's pretty safe to assume he didn't have the money to expand. In fact, he runs them all the way home and throws down a creep colony. So very aware that he may be aggroed on here pretty hard. Getting more lings, throwing down his extractor. I agree, Kriggy. The 3rd would be very hard to defend. This is definitely a, hey, don't look here base. Which is pretty dangerous playing against Protoss, because Protoss has such a tendency to go into Corsairs, right? And they're flying around all over the place. So Ninja bases, I feel, are a little bit less successful against Protoss. And then against Terran, you know, a lot of Terran players will just, like, randomly scan the corners or, like, sling a Marine out there. So, yeah, Ninja bases are kind of tough in general, but if you can get it down, definitely a boost to the economy. Alright, we're sitting at 5 zealots. I'm curious what's going on over here. Robo facility! Yo! Three more zealots. Okay, now what I'm curious is if he's going to use that robo facility for something like Reavers down the line, or what I'm kind of expecting is he's just going to lift into the main. Maybe get some shuttles and just start lifting zealots into the main to get around the sunken. So he wants to keep coming in here, wants to keep pressuring, keep the Zergling count low, and maybe even force more sunkens. Oh, there's a lot of Zerglings though. Not looking good for Simu's G houses. Bringing more zealots to the front. This is forcing Dada to turn a lot of larvae into lings. You can see that, right? 6 more lings down here at the natural. And keeping that drone count low because of it. Now up here in the top left, he is going to be able to keep droning this base. But a lot of that cash is going straight into links and defense. Kriggy, throw it in the casting request channel in CPL. I have a list of like 30 games that I want to catch up on that have been in there. But yeah, just put a note. Just be like, my wife wants to watch me play. Because I think that's super cool. My wife hates StarCraft. She's like, that's dumb. Like, you're dumb. She's like, you're not even good. And I'm like, I know. So yeah, I'm all for it. Let me know and I'll let you know, and then you can let her know, and everyone can watch. It'll be a big fun family event. All right, Hydralisk going down. We do have the 2 sunkens here at the natural. It did look like the Robo facility is for Reavers. Reavers outrange sunkens. So I like this. This is like a reverse bust going on. Normally in ZVP, we see a lot of... thanks, Stage. I doubt it immensely. Ooh! Anyway, what I was saying, ZVP, normally you see Protoss, the one being busted by a bunch of Hydralisks. This time we're going to be seeing Protoss in here slinging these Scarabs. Boom! While Dada is trying to get his Hydralisk count up and healthy. Now, unfortunately for him, he might lose this Hydra Den before speed finishes. Dada destined to have slow Hydralisks forever. Now the Zerglings getting on top of the Reaver, knock it out. Jumping on top of the Dragoons. Now they're going to get past this army. Now he doesn't know about the proxy, I don't think. But he is... There's not much going on at home either. So these Lings have an opportunity to do something really funny. Alright, second Reaver. Replacing the first. A third one coming out. We also have Scarab damage being upgraded. Really trying to get this Hydra Den. Speed almost complete. Dada needs to get out here and just defend long enough for speed if he wants it finished. Right now, kind of priority is don't die. Oof. Trying to wall this off. Now, the Reaver is getting sucked in pretty close. Now, meanwhile, up in the Protoss base, we have Zerglings shredding probes. We also have a supply block for Scimo there briefly. The probe count just dipping down to 11, 10, 9, 8. These Zerglings doing so much damage. But down here at the natural for the Zerg as well. Protoss army powering through. The Sunkens have been eliminated. Now, there's no chance, like, the Protoss has to do this and has to do it now, but with the Hydralisk back here and this wall forcing the Reaver to crawl its happy ass all the way around the entire world, it might not be possible. Now, the Hydra Den goes down. We have 3 Hydras in production, 3 out here on the map. We may just need to swarm with Lings, but the Reaver is going to make that really, really difficult. But Dada also has this base. He's got this base in the top left. He can start rebuilding his infrastructure if he needs to. Meanwhile, Protoss is down to 6 probes and doesn't have that luxury. We got 2 creep colonies going down here in the main. And here come the Lings. Can they get on top of this Reaver? This might be the game moment. Oh, but the Reaver blows them all up. All right, we're going into Sunkens. DPS are... Oh, we're at 235. Remember, creep colonies lose 100 health when they become Sunkens. And there it goes. We got 2 more creep colonies going down. Fortunately for our Zerg player, the drones haven't been hit by a Scarab yet, but there it goes. Oh my gosh. Still with a worker lead. 8-6. Zerg's not done yet, and these drones are just hightailing it. Hightailing it. Oh my gosh. Are these Sunkens going to complete in time? The Reaver is sitting here shooting at the Extractor. Needs to take these out. Now, I don't... Obviously, even if both these finish, I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, but he kills the Zealot. Kills a Goon! Now, 3 more Zealots down here at the Natural is going to wipe out the Natural. Again, Scimo has not been making probes. Down to 6 probes, but hasn't been remaking them. I think Scimo is under the impression that this is all Dada has. And because it's game 3, Dada's just refusing to quit. He's got that fantasy GG timing, you know what I mean? But in reality, Dada's got another base and he's going for a Spire. He doesn't even have anyone mining gas. The best he can do is when the Spire is done, make like 2 Mutalisks. That might be all he needs if he kills all the remaining probes. Now, probes are being produced again. We're at 7 now. Would you guys believe me if I told you there was 30 minutes left in this game? All right. Reaver's coming up here, slowly knocking down this spawning pool. And don't forget, I think it's important to mention, because we're so low econ right now, that Scarabs are 15 minerals a shot. Right? So if this is your primary method of knocking out all the remaining stuff and you're mining like 3 minerals per minute, it adds up. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying like he's not able to use that money for other things. Like more Zealots or more probes. And here we go. We've got 6 Zerglings getting in here. They're on top of the probes. Every probe death is an enormous thing right now. We're under 10 probes. It means every probe that dies is more than 10% of his economy gone, wiped, zilch. Oh my gosh, is he gonna get this Zealot? Kills the Zealot. We got 2 Lings. Oh, but they get knocked out by the probes. Not a single probe died during that engagement. Meanwhile, we've got Protoss up here about to try to put the finishing blow on Zerg. Don't forget this layer's still alive. Don't know if that's going to come in play. And there's nothing here, dude. there's 2 Lings, but there's a Muta. Now, after about 612 shots, a Muta can kill a Zealot. Oh my gosh. These drones. Now, the other Muta over here, denying all mining. Denying all mining, starting to chip away at the infrastructure for Protoss. This game is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Oh, these Zealots are getting super low. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. There's no money either, by the way. Protoss is not mining at all. And is at 70 minerals. Cannot remake a Zealot. Oh, kill the Zealot! No! Here come all the probes and the Zealot back. What do we have for an army? We got a Dragoon out here. A Zealot over here. The 2 Zealots that are on the map are both, like, critically wounded. Is Dada gonna pull this off? Now, Scimo knows he needs to risk it. He needs to get in there and get minerals. Even if it's just enough for, like, a Nexus or something. Oh my gosh, but all of the probes. Unable to get more than, like, 30 minerals from that attempt. Nothing in the production tab for Protoss. For Zerg, we have the spawning pool going down. We've got another Mutalisk. And the last thing that can shoot up dies. There goes the Dragoon. Oh, we're at 3 probes, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's it. Wow, what a wild... Oh, but we're not done. We've got Reavers. Now, again, 40 kills. Look at that thing. 41 kills on that Reaver. I legitimately don't think I've ever seen a Reaver with that many kills. Spire's gone. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Oh, it does matter, though, because there's no other buildings. If these Reavers, which we're out of money, we can't afford a Scarab. We're out of Scarabs. 1,300 health is all that's remaining for Zerg to be eliminated, and we can't afford a Scarab. Oh my god. There's 2 probes somewhere, by the way. Oh, here comes the Zealot to finish the deal. I really wish... I think he forgot about this guy. This is wild. You have minerals too? Dada's like, F off, dude. I don't talk to nobody. I'm not telling you about my drones. No! Scimo looking for a draw. He's got no opportunity for a draw either. We have air units out here. But look at this. If this extractor goes down, then that means the only thing that was left for Zerg in this match was a wounded hatchery. My god, Mutas suck against Zealots. This is all that needed to be killed, which means if he had just, I don't know, freaking 70 minerals for Scarabs, he could have killed that. Dude, Scimo, I would have sent the Zealot. That was a great game. Great series. Every single match, I was just thinking to myself, this is the match, this is the map that inspired them to recommend this game. Like, that was a banger. Then the next map, complete banger. And then that last game, really chef's kiss. That was beautiful. That was so much fun. So Dada's going to end up taking that one 2-1 over Scimo. And really fun pair up. I'll keep an eye out for you two playing again. Next up, we've got... Okay, so looking at the time, I think I'm going to do Borisu and Nitekat. I'm not going to be able to get to Bicruel and Wish You Were Here. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that so that if anyone shows up after the fact, they're not like, what the hell, bruh? But I'll get them next time. Okay. Biggest clown show. I feel like that's what there's not going to be a 40-hour cast, good lord. I feel like a lot of these get recommended based on their clown showness. And one of the reasons why I say that, and I think that, is because we're about to watch Borisu. And Borisu has a reputation for being a clown cast. I would love to do a subathon, but my lifestyle, like, I've got a bunch of kids, and like, I couldn't do a 24-hour stream or anything. I've got way too much stuff going on. Okay, so first game's gonna be on Knockout. Let me go and fix the scoreboard before we get in there. So we got Borisu versus Nitekat, who's now following. Thank you, Nitekat. And the first map is going to be on Knockout. All right. Let's get after it. We started with a TVT. We're going to end with a TVT. Tonight I have to play TVT against Nitekat, too. I'm going to consider this studying. All right, up here in the top left on Knockout, we have our red Terran. This is Nitekat. He's a streamer as well. You should check out his page. And then we've got Borisu down here in the bottom left is our blue Terran. And speaking of Nitekat streaming, he sometimes streams amazing game called RV There Yet, where you can sometimes watch myself and Escalade and Fuzzy and Nitekat trying to navigate the obstacles of the backwoods with our RV. Good times. All right. Both players just chilling, doing their thing. TVT. Can't study from insanity. We'll see. I know earlier we saw that bio play from the Terran playing against the Protoss. I very rarely see bio be used against Protoss, but I've seen Borisu do it. And I've seen Borisu do it in a way where he'll build like mini fortresses across the map. He'll come up with his bio and a bunch of SCVs. He'll build a bunch of bunkers, like a bunch. Like he'll build like 5 bunkers, and he'll fill them with Marines, and then he'll build turrets all around his bunkers, and then he'll put tanks in there. And he creates these little castles that he uses to try to like push his Protoss opponents. It's wild. Borisu, I don't think, is aware of what a build order is. He plays off vibes, and I love it. I love it. Like, I tease his style, but like he's tier 2, right? This is a tier 2 match. Like I can't even beat him. All right, so Barracks going down here for Borisu. Refinery for Nitekat. Okay, Borisu also getting a refinery. And really what's going to come down here is, you know, are they going to expand or are they going to go into a 2-fact play? Nitekat doing his scout now. As you notice, Borisu did his scout wicked early. I think he sent this out at like 10 or 11 supply. And lucky for him, he got first scout too. So this guy's going to be able to come home and get back to work where he belongs. All right, pumping out a Marine. We've got 1 on gas. So we'll see how Borisu wants to do this. Sends a 2nd to gas and a 3rd. Okay. Meanwhile, we already have the factory going down for Nitekat. Like the Borisu build going a little bit slow. Oh, did he not actually kill it? Well, I mean, you fended him off with a Marine, right? Alright, now doing an end scout for Nitekat, he is going to be able to find Borisu at the 2nd place he checks. Factory going down, supply depot as well. Going up to 3 Marines, a little bit of an uncommon number, unless you're going to try to do some sort of, I don't know, like 2-tank, 3-tank push relatively early on. We'll see if that's the route that he takes. He is going up to 2 factories, keeping his SCVs on gas. Not going to be seeing an expansion here from Borisu. Meanwhile, Nitekat playing a little bit more standard, getting his Vulture out. We'll likely see the machine shop go down. He does have his natural base going up now. Yeah, I love it, Nitekat. You're just like, what? He did this and that? Like, what? Yeah. I love it. I love watching Borisu play. Because he's like the epitome of, like, this shouldn't work. But he makes it work. And also, he's like the one player that's known for always incorporating nukes into his play. Always. So we'll see if we get treated to something along those lines here. Second factory going down. We do have the machine shop as well. That was after the second vulture. And we're seeing 5 Marines. So Nitekat noticed that there was 5 Marines. He sent his SCV in there and did scout that. So generally what you're thinking is like, okay, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 tanks that get pushed out here soon. And he's going to come across the map. So I wouldn't be shocked. Well, I was going to say I wouldn't be shocked if he went early siege mode. But I could also see Nitekat getting mines and really playing a little bit more defensively here early on to kick away like the first push from Borisu. And we do see 2 tanks being built now. He already has 1 out, so this is set up for a 3-tank push. Normally you get like speed and mines behind this, and you get your vultures to start rallying to your attack after these 2 tanks show up. So by the time the Marines and the tanks make their way here, the vultures are produced and they're also on their way. So Borisu's actually squared up to hit pretty hard. Borisu's also going for siege, so another technique, but a little bit. I don't know what's better. Generally, I see the vultures and at least speed and then mines, but getting siege is going to help a lot when it comes to dealing with this bunker as well. We've got 5 vultures. Looks like we went 3 factory vulture, 4 Nitekat. And Borisu's getting an armory. Cool. All right, so now we see the move out. And behind this, we don't really see Borisu producing much in terms of units. He is getting siege. He's also getting mines, but he doesn't have any vultures or vultures being produced, so we'll see how those come into play. And Borisu's doing a good job of targeting down these vultures. He's already killed like 4 or 5. So Borisu effectively wiping out the army of Nitekat, and now because siege is done, Borisu's going to be able to camp out here and just completely contain Nitekat. He's got a good amount of units to protect his tanks. This is looking really good for Borisu. He's unsieging, doesn't want to hit his own units with splash. Get on top of these SCVs. This is also going to allow him to push into the natural. Now, mines aren't complete yet for Nitekat. They just finished up, and just as it finished up, the last vulture gets killed. And that's it! Borisu victory! Not a single nuke in sight. Look at that. People say Borisu can't play standard. Ha! But he did. I'm a big Borisu fan. I love it. Alright, so that's going to give Borisu 1 win on the board. And let's go into game number 2. Alright, game number 2 is going to be on Polestar. Yeah, supply blocking yourself really hurts early on. Especially for Terran. Let me fix the skull board. So Borisu's up 1 map, and we are on Polestar, and all is right in the world. So here we are. Borisu in the top right is our blue Terran. Nitekat in the bottom left, our red Terran. Now I want to keep an eye over here, because I missed a couple things last game that were popping up in the chat. Such things like Borisu didn't build a barracks until after he had scouted the opponent. I didn't see when he scouted. It seemed really early. And I want to peek behind the curtain. I want to know what's going on here. This is fun. I could get on board with doing a lot more casting of specific games that have been requested, because every single game today has just been off the wall. I gotta say though, I think the Dada Scimo game has taken the cake so far. That is probably one of the best series I've seen in CPL from like an excitement standpoint. Like it was just, I had no idea what was going on, who was going to win, the decisions that were going to be made, some of the micro, especially that last match, coming down to really just 1,000 HP on a hatchery was all that was between Dada winning and losing. Absolute insanity. Yeah, we see the early scout again. Damn it, I got distracted. I think it was on like 9 or 11. Like I think he sends a dude over here to build the supply depot, and then he just like yeets out an SCV, which is definitely a choice because like that kind of hurts your economy. If you're concerned about factory timing, like that's something that's going to really affect it. But he's going to know where Nitekat is. And that mattered pretty heavily last game because he was going for an early 2-fact push. So he's going to see where Nitekat is. And he's going to bebop out. We'll see if he keeps this here. Yeah, it does look like it. Borisu, all about the shenanigans, the mental game. He's going to park the SCV here. And this is going to prevent or at least slow down an expansion from Nitekat. The Nitekat, with a pretty standard factory timing, gets that started, and Borisu looks like he's starting to build more Marines again. We'll see if he goes up to that same number of like 5 or 6. Might see just a straight up 2-fact. But you can see here, right, with like the speed at which he's getting his gas to get that factory, he's about 30 seconds behind, and that's because of that early scout. So we'll see how he uses this information to regain an advantage. So two Marines here are going to deny the SCV from getting up into the main. And it looks like Nitekat is going to take his expansion. Now this SCV hanging out here, he recognizes, like Nitekat knows, okay, I've already expanded. Last game I got 2-fact from Borisu. Not seeing Borisu expand again. Am I going to get 2-fact again? So that's probably where Nitekat's thinking. And honestly, probably what Borisu's doing. He's getting his first factory out now. And I tried to call what Borisu is doing. I tried to call it. I was wrong. Instead of going 2-fact, he's going ninja base up into the top left because you know what? Why not? So he is actually expanding. He's getting a vulture out. Dude, I love this. This is actually so just wacky. Because it's going to look like a 2-fact play. And so, Nitekat just fell to that. So what is the reaction going to be? I'd imagine maybe he'll go into an earlier, like, mines and speed. We saw kind of the vulture massing start from Nitekat last time. So if we do that, but we do it off of 2 factories instead of 3, you might have the funds to start getting some of those crucial vulture upgrades. Okay, so instead what we're going to do is we're going to go tanks earlier. Okay, that's the route we're going. Borisu just runs this vulture straight up into the main and kills an SCV past these 2 vultures. Love it. And that gives Borisu a 1 SCV lead. Look at that. Tank getting a second gas. Yeah, and a Marine. You're right. He just ran it right up. So funny. Okay, so we do have the tank and we're getting Goliaths as well. Now, I almost feel like... So this kind of looks like a Tank Goliath fast expand build that's used pretty frequently in CPL. It's in that server, bag of builds. It looks kind of like that. Normally you get at least 2 Goliaths. But this also might just be the Borisu effect, right? Like, we don't know what he's going to do. He could be making Wraiths right now. We don't know what's happening in Borisu's main, but we know he hasn't expanded. We're about to learn that he has, in fact, expanded. This is definitely a check that you do because you're playing Borisu, right? I don't think Nitekat actually sends an SCV and Marine up to the top left every game. And we're getting the another expansion here at the natural. Okay, what's the reaction? So the vultures from Nitekat are going to go up to the top left. They're going to wipe out the SCVs up here, delay mining. Borisu will have to lift this. Oh, is that what happened? Oh, that's right. That did happen, Nitekat. Early on, you saw that SCV bebop out onto the map. Good awareness. And Borisu's just kind of chilling. He's getting his second factory up. Marines are attacking this barracks. He's trying to evacuate his third base. And Nitekat's going to come in here and get a full scout. And he's seeing a lot of tanks. He's getting his third factory. I wonder if he's going to get a starport. Or if he's going to keep pushing towards kind of like a 5-fact push. Looks like he's going to be coming in here with some Goliath, 3 tanks. But the reason why I was thinking starport is he already has the Goliaths. So if he goes starports, he can start getting Wraiths. I think he probably feels like he might have a tank advantage right now. Or at least the ability to produce more tanks. And so if the counter from Borisu ends up being Wraiths to counter his Wraiths, he has the Goliaths to shoot them down. Gonna end up probably losing this barracks. But this push looks pretty healthy here from Nitekat. See how it goes. Meanwhile, Borisu has landed his CC over here at the triangle third at the top left. A sneaky spot. Somewhere that you wouldn't intuitively check, actually. But Nitekat knows there's a CC somewhere. He didn't see it land here. He's got a vulture checking there. So we'll see if Nitekat comes over here and tracks it down. Nitekat building his engineering bay. He'll be able to use this, lift it off, and get additional vision for his tanks. Not to mention some turrets if he needs them. So that's kind of why you see him building that forward. We are up to 3 factories and rebuilding a barracks. So it looks like Nitekat does want to go into more of like a 5-factory type of style. Getting his third base as well. And here goes Borisu, saturating his third. I love it. Gosh, I love watching him play. Because he just tries shit. He's just like, I'm just going to land this here. What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? Like, he's got this SCV. This SCV will have paid for this on its own. Like, sure, wipe it out, whatever. I mind enough. Meanwhile, Nitekat establishing a little bit of a contain out here. He does have mines at expected expansions. Not at this one, though. And so Borisu still has an SCV lead. He's at 45 to 42. Now, where Borisu is lacking a little bit is in factory count, but he did go starport. And he's going science facility. So we're going a little bit up Terran here. I think we're getting 1-1 for Borisu, and he'll be poised to take 2-2 and 3-3 shortly after, because he'll already have a science facility. Now, how Nitekat is going to have to win this is, I think, just by outproducing. I think if he were to hold back a little bit, like, this is good. Like, establish this contain. Try to prevent Borisu from breaking out with just, like, minimal forces, but then get these 5 factories up and running. I think Nitekat has a really strong chance of just breaking through. Looks like Borisu is getting a 3rd factory. Needs to keep this barracks alive if he wants to expand much more beyond that. And he's going drop ships. Okay. (1-1) nearing completion for Borisu. Nitekat already has +1 attack. Continuing to send tanks and Goliaths to the front. And this base still hasn't been identified. We do have a vulture sneaking around though, and he checks the natural, but he doesn't check this pocket. He has no idea where this command center went. Okay, it looks like this guy's on patrol. I'm sitting here like, where's he going? It's back and forth. He's got another vulture on patrol over here. I love it. I love seeing patrol. I feel like it's underutilized. Okay, so we have dropships beginning to amass. The contain is established here. Now we see Borisu is continuing to keep that tank count high. And lockdown? Hold up. We've got a covert ops. We've got lockdown being researched. Where's his barracks? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's floating over here. So we're going to see ghosts. And we're going to see lockdown coming out from Borisu. Because you know what? Why not? Now, lockdown range, I'm trying to remember. It's definitely not as far as a siege tank can shoot. So the only way lockdown is going to work for tanks is if he either drops like on top of a lone tank, or if he gets cloak along with it. So we might see fully upgraded ghosts coming up here for Borisu. Yeah, okay, so there comes cloak. He's getting his drop ships. This is setting up to be a nuke game. There it is! There it is! We've got the nuclear silo. Nuclear. Gosh dang, Borisu is the most fun player. We've got a 4th CC going down for Nitekat. And the crazy thing is, like, Borisu always makes this work. Well, I don't say always makes it work. He doesn't always win with it. But, like, he will get a nuke off. He will kill something with a nuclear bomb. Getting vessel energy? Is he getting a vessel? Alright, nuke is being built. We still don't have a barracks on the ground. Instead of landing that one, he's building another one. And I don't know how he's affording this gas-wise. I guess he does have 3 gases. This base still not identified. Vulture can't see over this wall. It's just patrolling everywhere. Oh, God. I like this, the Goliaths, the tank, and the mine. Nitekat believes he's got Borisu on 2 bases. Bunker. Told you, Borisu likes his bunkers. He just has such a different style. He is up at 4 factories now, 3 add-ons. Like, his build is just wicked gas heavy. And here's our first ghost. By the way, he's at 2-1 upgrades to the 1-0 of Nitekat. Oh, big load. Maybe I should say that differently. He loaded a bunch of units. There's a good amount of Goliaths on the field, though. What the heck is being shot? Can he see this? He must have been able to, like, see this with a scan or something. Oh, here comes a doom drop. Now, what do we have at home? So if he does get it across the map... Look at this. Look, 7 factories. We have a starport of our own. Okay, we got scans going off everywhere. Okay, that was Nitekat scanning. And I don't think he's this block cracks me up. It's such a blind spot. This whole thing, this game would be over if that was just spotted. Nitekat still scanning. He knows. Oh my gosh, he sees all the drop ships. Here comes the reaction. Nitekat knows there's a 3rd CC out there.
Nuclear launch.
Okay, there's the dot. There it is. Okay, so Borisu, the expert nuker that he is, oh, he does kill the ghost. Dang it. But Nitekat now knows there's nukes out there. And that's one of those things that you're just like, wait, what? Yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh, Nitekat, you have every base checked except this one. Only Borisu. Okay, here comes the drop. Now, Nitekat knows it's going to happen. There's mines all over the place. Let's see how much damage this can do. His units are actually doing a really good job of clearing these mines as they're coming in. This is going to get a good amount of damage. Borisu's shredding everything with these tanks. The Goliaths are providing enough protection. This is a real pain in the butt for Nitekat to bring units back up into his main. It's so hard for Terran to get up the ramp and around their own SimCity and everything. And because the upgrades are so high, these tanks are knocking out Nitekat's tanks so fast. He's on top of this production. I think he can hit 5 of these barracks, or I'm sorry, factories. So he's going to kill anything that starts coming out. This never works for me. I always try to do like Doom drops like this and it never works. I think this was pretty effective for Borisu. Borisu, not ahead in supply, but he is ahead by like 11 workers right now. He didn't really kill a lot of infrastructure, but he had to evacuate the main, and he forced Nitekat to bring back a ton of army. So now he's just got army everywhere. Nitekat having to use like a gajillion APM to just unscrew up all that, and I still can't. The scans are continuing to go off in this base. The MVP of the game. Oh, there goes the nuke! It's detected! And he's doing it in the same spot. Look at this guy. Look at this Chad. Forcing Nitekat to move back a little bit. Oh, but can he get away? Oh my gosh, the spread on that nuke. Takes out a couple of Goliaths, hurts a couple of tanks. But we just saw a nuke actually go off, everybody. Meanwhile, Engineering Bay, going for a joyride. He's going to see that Nitekat is on 1 million expansions. And you know what? If it worked once, it'll work again. Borisu going for a big Doom drop. Now, I kind of hope he just drops on top of this. More for excitement value. I don't know if it's actually a good move or not. But I feel like a couple rounds of just dropping on top of this after you killed the Goliaths. It's fun. If he goes this way, these Goliaths are actually going to be a problem, and he might lose a couple of these drop ships. Ooh, adding more dropships to the mix. Okay, now something we have to be concerned about with Borisu's play. He doesn't expand a lot, right? So he is out of money in the main. He still has his third base up, and his natural looks pretty healthy. Okay, this drop might get thwarted here pretty quick. It is going to have to be redirected. Goliaths, I think, took down 1 drop ship. No, not quite. Oh, dude, they do take down 1 drop ship. And now Nitekat is on reactive mode. He's trying to chase these dropships down and keep them out of his main. He's bringing in more Goliaths. He's going to be able to get another one. Oh, man. The movement on these dropships is actually looking really good. Holy cow. If Borisu gets a full drop-off here, this could be really tough for Nitekat to recover from. Coming up this ramp is not easy, and you can hear it. There's a ghost. Borisu wants to get more nukes. He's got one building right now. This ghost is cloaked. Where's he going? Where's this guy going? Okay, turret over here. Dude, where's he going? God, you can't predict any of this. Oh, if this mine kills this ghost, we'll lose it. Meanwhile, tons of scans. Tons of scans. Still dark. Oh, man. So much fun. Okay. Lockdowns on the tanks! Borisu using every tool available to him to make it happen. Now, meanwhile, this contain is still set up. Borisu's doing all this off of, like, a very meager economy. This is so... And he's just building a base. Borisu's like, nice 6 o'clock, dude. I'll take it. There's no way he holds this, right? There's no way. Okay, there's a nuke. Okay, so he's hitting over here. Dude, this nuke's right on top of this. This is actually hard to see. Now, the turrets do detect this, though. Right? So on the mini-map, Nitekat could see this nuke. Oh! My God! Holy shit. Dude. What is happening? Okay, 6 o'clock. The CC that Borisu was building does get knocked out. So does his random engineering bay that he landed over here. That nuke was awesome. It was so much fun. But Nitekat still has 46 workers. He's not out of it, right? But Borisu basically came in, wiped out all mining here, and wiped out a base. So he's doing damage. Nitekat's just staying on top of actually expanding. And playing against Borisu is a weird mental game, right? I feel like Nitekat probably could smash this or do his own drop in the main or get some battle cruisers or something. Or just identify that this base is here and the game would be over, right? Like if any of those three things happen, like the game's just over. Nitekat wins. But it's so weird playing against someone that's just going to lock down weird stuff, drop you in random locations, and nuke you when you least expect it. See, he's keeping this army mobile because he doesn't know what's going to come next. Yeah, exactly, Nitekat, you're right. You think you're just starving 2 bases because you think you don't know this one's here. You're just like, Borisu's going to run out of money. And you're not wrong. Nuclear launch detected. This one's coming out over here. Now, it looks like it's been identified. And really, Nitekat can eat nukes pretty much anywhere except for right here. Wow, really timely scan. Oh, that scan was from Borisu. Locks down 4 tanks, which got D-matrixes on 4 tanks. And here we go. Let's get it, Borisu. Clever move, actually. Runs in. The one thing I wish he had done a little bit differently is that his opening volley hit some of these lockdown tanks. I think if he was able to hit some of the stuff that's not locked down, he'd be feeling a little bit better. But he was able to just secure this. I don't think this is actually a good trade. That was really cool to watch, though. And now Nitekat, far ahead. Far ahead. I mean, to be real, I think Nitekat's been ahead this game, but that really threw away a ton of the tanks from Borisu. Now, Borisu does have 4 machine shops. I don't know how he's affording this. Pumping out 4 tanks at a time. Yeah, it looks fun. Maybe isn't good, but he's tier 2. I'm not tier 2. Like, he does win games. And you know what? It's with style. You know, I watch Artosis casts and I watch ASL and stuff. And they're always talking about players' styles. And I watch the pros and I'm just like, I actually find it really hard to identify a different style between the pros. Because they're just doing everything right. You know, you're like, oh, okay. This 2 different Zerg players are playing Zerg, and they both look really, really good. I can't really differentiate the styles. At this level, you can tell Borisu's style, right? Like, you can watch this game with the names covered and know this is Borisu. And I think that that's really fun. Going for another Doom drop. He's like out of money, by the way. So the 2 bases over here have been mined out. And so I think if I'm Borisu, what I'd be thinking is trying to secure this. Like, it's time to expand. Might as well expand that one. He's dematrixing his drop ships. Looking to try to get past these missile turrets. Maybe expand over here? I'm not entirely sure what the plan is. I don't know if he knows what the plan is. Okay, so he does look like he wants to take this. Okay. I don't actually entirely disagree with this move. He's even dropping a ton of SCVs. He knows he needs to expand. I was thinking this would be a natural expansion, but this actually makes a lot of sense as it's on the high ground. So he can really secure this It'd be kind of cool if he was able to scan over here, see movement, and preemptively nuke like the bottom of this ramp. Now Nitekat is taking this opportunity. He knows that the army's split to try to end this game. And he's just going to push full bore into Borisu's natural. Getting good sieges off. Right now, this is looking pretty bad for Borisu. We're seeing the supply just plummet. Like, he's down 70 supply to Nitekat right now. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the chat. You're right. Borisu's wildly rich. I have no idea. Yeah, Nitekat walks in. Borisu building a base. And Borisu nuking. And he's nuking right here. Now the scan doesn't hit this. But Nitekat sees the dot. He needs to get out of there. Here comes the nuke. Is it going to damage anything? Oh, huge damage. Kills an egg too. How does he keep getting away with it? Look at this. The tanks are even driving around the ghost. Okay. I mean, this is done though, right? Like, Nitekat got up in here. But there was 4 nukes that game. You just don't get this quality of entertainment anywhere else. Not since Game of Thrones was airing. And even Game of Thrones didn't have as many nukes as the Borisu game. Alright, Borisu's essentially cooked. He's going to do one last push here. But he just has a fraction of the army that Nitekat has. Nitekat's gone into Wraiths. There's nothing that shoots Wraiths. I guess he has Ghosts. But that's not going to be enough. And there's the GG. Which means that we get a game 3. Oh, that one was long. Also, I want to point out on that end screen, I don't know if you noticed, Borisu does all this with like 80 APM. Ah, oh, so much fun. Borisu, if you're out there, I love that you are a part of this community. All right. That was an amazing game. Let's go into game number 3. This is going to close it out for us. Got to get some work done. Let's do this. What am I doing? Okay, it's going to be on Radeon. We are at 1-1. And let's see if this last match is as much of a banger as the other ones have been. Oh, you guys can't even see. You're looking at my mug. Nitekat, you could always just Prime subscribe. Gets rid of the ads. Supports Starcraft Underground. Great. Down here in the bottom left, we have our red Terran, Nitekat. Down here in the bottom right, we've got our blue Terran, Borisu. Who, by the way, holds the record for most nukes in CPL. I don't think anyone can even come close. I don't even think anyone's tried. But even if I did try, I don't think I could get as many nukes off as Borisu. That's okay. It's not my style. Okay, I think we're actually going to see the scout this time. So, we're not going to see the scout this time. We're going to see him put down the supply depot here at the nice little put supply depot here sign. We'll see if he follows this wall template. Nitekat doing a supply depot. Okay, so 10 scout. That's when Borisu scouts. Borisu, a fan of knowing where his opponent is. Nitekat, we've seen a couple different builds from Nitekat too. So the first game, we saw him going into kind of a 3-fact vulture. Game number 2, we saw him doing more of a tank Goliath build, which is generally designed to counter Mass Vulture. Borisu, again, getting very lucky with his scouting. Gonna get a first scout here in the bottom left on Nitekat. Barracks up here towards the top right. Now, I like this barracks location. This is going to allow Nitekat to float it off quickly and towards his opponent. And Borisu is indeed using the template to build a full wall. So this is a Zealot type, or not Zealot, Zergling type wall going down for Borisu. And so when I see this, I think we're going to see a 2-fact again. But Borisu's banking up some cash. So, what the hell? Oh my god. Okay, so what is this? Borisu's throwing down 2 proxy barracks over here on the left side of the map. I have no doubt that that will not ever get checked. And this is something interesting, right? So if I'm Nitekat and I come up here, I don't think he made it all the way up that ramp either. No, he hasn't. By the way, if you have something blocking like ramps up at the top, it does scout out, or I'm sorry, glitch out your worker trying to get up here. So you got to like click like little by little to get it up. Nitekat sees it now. So unfortunately, he missed that moment. That was interesting. There was a moment where this was down but not being built, and the barracks was being built, which to me is an indicator of don't come in here. I don't want you to see what I have. Right? Like this is already an indicator of that. But when you see one SCV like double drop buildings, that's an oh shit indicator. We have a 3rd barracks going down over here. Borisu can't afford this. Like I just don't think he can produce out of all these barracks. This is wild. Okay, so we do have an expansion from Nitekat playing very standard again. He's going to have his vultures come out. He is getting 2 vultures before the add-on, which I think in this situation is going to potentially play a big factor in how well he can defend against a bio push. Not to mention Borisu, we've mentioned before, also likes bunkers. So I could definitely see Borisu taking these SCVs along and building bunkers in an attempt to bunker rush. Honestly though, I don't think Borisu's aggression in this game is going to be successful. He's getting an academy, getting a supply depot. The vultures, it's going to come down to how Nitekat can micro these vultures. And it's also going to come down to when Borisu decides to push. Okay, so Stim is being researched. That might be the trigger. There's no tanks. Okay, there's a tank, but we're not at siege, right? So just tank without siege will melt pretty quickly to a whole bunch of Marines. Okay, so I take it back. I take it back when I said that the vultures are going to be key here. I think what's going to be key here is an SCV pull. I think when Borisu comes in with this force, which is actually starting to look pretty scary, if he pushes in, we're going to need to get a very quick reaction with a whole lot of SCVs. Otherwise, Nitekat might just die. Okay, here comes the SCV. He's going to go in front and check what's going on. Knowing Borisu, he probably already has it templated to build like a bunker right here or something. Okay, he's going to run in. Okay, 2 vultures, 2 Marines, 1 tank. I got this. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, now Nitekat. Okay, good. I want Nitekat to pull up the ramp. Get up the ramp, take it from the high ground. Oh, these stimmed Marines. We got 3 medics too. And Borisu going straight up the ramp. He's going to just start shredding. He shreds the vulture. And I told you, right? The tanks, they're expensive, but without siege, they're just going to get wiped. Borisu trying to take out the machine shop? I don't know why. Okay. Now, this is being mega repaired, but it's not enough for these Marines. And with a handful of Marines and the medic keeping them alive from the SCVs, Borisu's insanity might just have worked. More Marines funneling in, one at a time. Medic's doing a great job of keeping them alive. Nitekat now down just below Borisu's worker count. And this is what I was talking about with the SCV pool, right? Like, if we saw that push coming, and it's really hard to do, we need to get that army at the top of the ramp, and we need to pull all these SCVs and get them in front. But even then, there might have been too much. But I mean, we're down to what? 4 Marines, and that was with reinforcements. So I think it was very feasible. Borisu down to 3 Marines in the main. Tank is still alive. We have SCVs now being pulled, but now we're at a little bit of a dangerously low SCV count. Oh my gosh, this tank is gonna fall. And there it is. Nitekat throws in the GG. Oh my gosh. Borisu did it. What a wild proxy. With that, the power of bullshit wins once again. But fear not, there is more to come. Oh man. Borisu even trolling the chat, the viewers. That was after Nitekat was gone. He was just saying that. No one can blame you, Nitekat. Like, you did everything normal, right? And this is this is what I love about Starcraft, you know, and like meta, because without builds like Borisu punishing standard, then we never get, you know, like meta becomes too safe, right? If you do random stuff like what Borisu does, you have to check for it. You have to play a little bit safer. You have to optimize your scouting in a way where you can be ready for anything. I love it. I love it. It was so much fun. And all of that was 70 APM. 70 APM. I want to meet Borisu in real life. I do. Okay, well, this has been an absolute blast. I am definitely going to continue ticking through the casting request channel, because what you guys have been suggesting have been amazing games, right? We had H. Meyer and Who Knows, which was a makeup from another cast, but turned out to be a wonderful series, so that was a lot of fun. Kanzaki versus Escalade, absolutely bonkers. Tons of arbiters, stasis. It was just wild back and forth. Scimo versus Dada did have the cake. Probably still does for best series, especially that last game that was just so close. And then Nitekat versus Borisu, we got classic Borisu in its finest refined form. So let's do our CPL anthem, and then we'll go ahead and raid someone. Hopefully stick around, support whoever we raid. Got to keep this StarCraft community growing. It's the best. All right, everybody.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and floor. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, legends play. CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the dream, we are the Coach-Pupil League.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see who we can raid. Let's see who's around, shall we? Filter by category, StarCraft. Got New Ocean. We've got 80s Mullet. We've got a bunch of people I don't know. Let's do 80s Mullet. He's fun. Good dude. Playing Terran. The Honorable Race. We'll go ahead and raid him. And it also says Booty Connoisseurs Only as his stream title, so it's the appropriate place for us all to go. All right, everyone. Take it easy.